weapon of pure radiant energy. With a single swipe, he severed the ethereal chains that had bound the wolves to their fate as harbingers of Ragnarok. The shackles dissolved into golden dust, freeing them at last. "You're free now," Satria said gently. "As part of this new chapter, would you permit me to give you new names?" The wolves wagged their tails enthusiastically, their eyes bright with anticipation. "For you, Skull, I name you Dawn, a bringer of light and hope rather than a devourer of the sun. And for you, Heitai, I name you Selena, evoking the beauty of the moon and the celestial wonder of nature." As he spoke, the wolves' bodies began to glow, their forms shimmering with newfound strength. Dawn's once white fur turned a vibrant golden hue, radiating like the sun itself. Selena's fur shifted to a soft silver with streaks of celestial purple, a perfect reflection of her lunar essence. The pact was sealed. "You never cease to surprise me, dear," Fatalis said with a smirk, though her tone carried a hint of exasperation. "But, won't this bring trouble? I mean, these two were meant to trigger Ragnarok. Aren't you worried about meddling with fate?" Satria shrugged, now hugging the wolves tightly, his face buried in their soft fur. "I know the risks, but I regret nothing. Nobody can separate me from my children." Fatalis sighed, placing a hand on her forehead as if warding off a headache. "You, idiot!" Despite her words, she couldn't help but smile as she watched him fuss over his new children. Uzumaki Training Ground. Forested Massachusetts, Boston. Satria leaned back against a tree, watching Konako spar with Naruto while Kiyohime sat beside him, gently feeding him snacks. Ariel lay curled at his feet, basking in the serenity of the moment. "Tell me, Konako," Naruto said mid-attack, his movements fluid and precise as he demonstrated frog kata. "What's more important than power? Name one thing." Konako deflected his strikes, her mind racing for an answer. "Love? My will to protect those important to me." Naruto grinned and flicked her forehead playfully. "Close, but not quite. The answer is willpower, the strength of your character, the strength of your bonds, and the unyielding determination to protect the people you love. Still, you're on the right track." Kurika, lounging nearby, smirked. "Aira hubby's got a point, but it's my turn now. Konako-chan, you've learned senjutsu. Now, I'm teaching you yujutsu, our spellcraft. Prepare yourself." She conjured intricate magic circles, her playful demeanor masking her precision. "Yes, Ne-sama." Konako nodded, determination shining in her eyes. Suddenly, two massive wolves appeared, accompanied by a Satria clone. The clone gave a quick wave. "Yo! Delivery complete. Goodbye." It disappeared in a burst of light, its memories merging with the original. The twin wolves padded over to Satria, their tails wagging enthusiastically. "Naya!" Ariel hissed, glaring at the newcomers. She wasn't about to share her master's attention with these feral dogs. Satria chuckled, scratching Ariel behind the ears. "Be nice to your new brother and sister, little one. Aren't they cool? And cute? As expected of me, of course." He pet the wolves' heads gently, earning delighted whines from the giant beasts. Kiyohime raised an eyebrow, her gaze fixed on the wolves. "Danasama, are you sure about this? These aren't ordinary pets. Their power, it's immense." Satria gave her a sheepish grin, his eyes wide with mock innocence. We can't keep them? Look at them. How could I abandon such poor creatures?" Kiyohime sighed, her resolve wavering. Fatalis, who had just arrived, crossed her arms with a knowing smirk. "Better give up, Kiyohime. He won't stop once he sets his mind on something." "Fine," Kiyohime relented, "but you're responsible for them. I'm still taking care of this little one." She cradled Vaporeon protectively, shooting Satria a pointed look. "Trust me, dear. I'll take care of everything." Satria's face was brimming with confidence, though Kiyohime didn't seem entirely convinced. Before the conversation could continue, Naruto appeared, his eyes widening as he examined the wolves. Hold up! Are these, the children of Fenrir? How the hell did you tame them? Satria puffed out his chest proudly. Easy. Love solves everything, right? The wolves barked in agreement, their tails wagging even faster. Naruto face-palmed, exasperated. That doesn't explain anything, you damned brat. Fatalis, however, was distracted by something else. Her eyes fell on Kiyohime's hand, specifically the ring on her finger. Wait, what's that? Since when did you wear jewelry? This. Kiyohime smirked, holding up her hand to flaunt the golden ring with a purple gem. It's a gift from Dana-sama. A symbol of our love. Hey! Fatalis's expression darkened with jealousy. Satria, you idiot! I want a ring too. Don't you know the rule of polygamy? You have to be fair. This isn't fair. Kiyohime giggled, her tone smug. Ara as expected, I'm his favorite. Open wide, Dana-sama. She popped a Japanese snack into Satria's mouth, her expression dripping with satisfaction. Delicious, Satria said through his bite, shaking his head. And I don't have favorites. Would you prefer I propose to you all at the same time, neat dragon? It'd save me some trouble. No. Fatalis pouted, crossing her arms. I want it to be just the two of us on a romantic night. And stop acting like some grown-up, you spoiled brat. Don't call me a spoiled brat in public. Satria's face reddened, and he flicked her forehead in retaliation. Ouch! That hurt, idiot! Fatalis rubbed her forehead, glaring at him. Fine. But if you hate being called a spoiled brat, how about I call you Lolitria instead? Especially not that. Satria's patience snapped. He grabbed her cheeks and pulled gently. Do you want to taste my wrath? Hey! Ow, ow, ow! I'm sorry, hubby. Fatalis squealed, trying to wriggle free. Sighing, Satria let her go and turned to Naruto, his playful demeanor replaced with a serious expression. Naruto, I need to speak with you and Atake privately. Just the three of us. Naruto blinked, sensing the shift in mood. All right. Lead the way. The room was quiet except for the crackling of the fireplace as three figures sat, their expressions serious. Satria, Naruto, and Atake were deep in conversation. Satria leaned forward, his fingers steepled. Dope, do you have a place to accommodate people? I need to evacuate some victims from a certain country. My clone, along with Kurumi, recently discovered that Hydra and remnants of Japan's Unit 731 are conducting inhumane experiments in Madripoor to create superhuman soldiers. Naruto's eyes widened in shock. What? Those bastards! We need to act fast to save them. I think I have a solution. There's an island I visited with Lara after we defeated the Immortal Queen. Yamatai. It's now a safe haven for mutants. They might accept the refugees. Satria nodded thoughtfully. That could work. It's not just our problem, though. This ties back to Japan's government too. Are you planning to tell your friend from the Heroes Association? You know, Toshinori. Naruto blinked in surprise but quickly nodded. Yeah, I'll inform him. There's no way Toshinori would stand by if he learns people from his country are involved in this kind of crime. Satria smirked. Good. He'll be a useful ally. Then, he turned to Naruto again. By the way, has Jiraiya already gone back to his world? Naruto nodded. Yeah, Ero-Sennin returned yesterday. With a satisfied expression, Satria shifted his gaze to Atake. Perfect. Atake, I need you to handle something for me regarding your world. Itake's expression remained calm, but his curiosity was evident. What is it you require, Satria-sama. I need you to act as my eyes. Gather intel, observe the situation, and prepare everything for me to meet with Akatsuki's leader. Naruto's brow furrowed. You're planning to meet Pain? Satria shook his head. Not just him. I mean the real leader of Akatsuki, the one with the mask. Itaka's calm demeanor shifted slightly as his eyes narrowed. He hadn't expected Satria to know this secret, one that even many members of Akatsuki were unaware of. You mean, him? Exactly, Satria said with certainty. Naruto leaned back, crossing his arms. What do you want with that guy? Satria's gaze sharpened, his tone unwavering. It's a waste to let talent like his go to ruin. The Akatsuki's core members weren't always like this, they were fine people once. But the world scarred them, twisted their ideals. If left unchecked, they'll create chaos. What they need is guidance, someone who can steer them toward a better path. He leaned back, a faint smirk crossing his face. Besides, I have an offer they won't be able to refuse. When I return to their world, I'll test my proposition. If it works, I'll have a skilled group under my command to build a better world. Naruto narrowed his eyes, catching the glint of something else in Satria's expression. That look. This brat's up to something. Just like when he tricked me into connecting that stupid well with Fran's dimensional storage skills. Satria's thoughts, meanwhile, were racing. If I can convince them, it's not just about peace, it's about opportunity. With ninja-like wizards at my side, I can uncover untapped resources in their world. Exploit them. Build industries. Export to other countries, even other worlds. Fran's world too. Their resources will be mine. Itaka broke the silence. Your objective is ambitious, but I understand. What is your plan for the masked one? Satria smirked. First, I'll gauge his motivations. If I can redirect his goals, he'll become a powerful ally. And if not, well, let's say I have contingencies. Naruto sighed. You're playing with fire, you know that? But fine. If it keeps them from destroying the world, I'll go along with it. Your wish is my command, Itaka said, bowing his head slightly. Satria's grin widened, his confidence unshaken. Good. Let's get to work. The dense, oppressive canopy of the hellish forest casts long shadows over Fran, her battered body a testament to her relentless battles. Blood trickled from countless wounds, her breaths ragged from fatigue, but her golden eyes burned with unyielding determination. The forest teemed with predators, each more vicious than the last. Yet, Fran's growth had been unprecedented. For every beast she slew, her strength surged, her level climbing rapidly as her body adapted to the relentless onslaught. A trio of giant saber-toothed tigers emerged from the underbrush, their growls vibrating through the air as they charged. Fran stood her ground, her gaze calm and focused. Hell Claw, she roared, slashing her claws in a precise arc. Blades of wind imbued with fiery magic tore through the air, slicing the saber-tooths into charred remnants. Ashes scattered to the forest floor as Fran exhaled deeply, her ears twitching at the sound of movement beneath her feet. Thud! The ground erupted, a massive worm, over 40 meters long, lunging from the earth with its grotesque maw wide open, aiming to devour her whole. Fran didn't flinch. Even malnourished, bruised, and teetering on the edge of collapse, she moved with the precision of a seasoned warrior. Her senses sharpened by the brutal training her lord had forced her to endure painted a vivid picture of her surroundings. She leaped back, narrowly avoiding the worm's snapping jaws, her eyes closed as her other senses guided her movements. I can see it. Even with my eyes closed, I feel its presence and the terrain around me. Is this what my lord meant? Is this the power he wanted me to unlock? She opened her eyes, determination flaring anew. Summoning her weapon, she extended her hand. The air crackled as her sword flew to her grip, responding instantly to her call. Fran! You finally summoned me. Baban, the sentient sword, buzzed with joy. I've missed you. That evil guy he. Me too, Shishao, Fran interrupted, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. Energy surged through her, infusing Baban. The blade shifted, glowing with alternating streaks of black and white, lightning crackling along its edge. Fran gripped the hilt tightly, her expression calm but resolute. One sword style, dance of the Byakko. Her figure blurred, her speed unmatched as she charged at the colossal worm. With a single, precise slash, the creature's massive body fell in two, its head severed cleanly. Lightning crackled along the wound, reducing the beast to ashes. As silence returned to the forest, Baban's voice broke the quiet. How did you become this strong, Fran? This is beyond anything I've ever seen. Fran smiled softly, her golden eyes glowing with quiet pride. Because of love, she whispered. Love for the people who believed in me. For my lord, who taught me strength through struggle. And now? She tightened her grip on Baban. Now it's time to finish our goal. The sword hummed with excitement. Let's do it, Fran. Together. Fran nodded, her gaze set on the horizon. In this cursed forest, she had found her strength and soon, the world would know it too. In the untamed depths of the savage land, where no human foot had ever dared to tread, Fran stood alone against a monstrous creature in the heart of a fetid swamp. The beast before her was unlike anything she had faced. Towering over 50 meters, its massive body was a fortress of natural armor, jagged scales shielding its back and tripartite jaw. The jaw's outer layers snapped open and shut with unsettling precision, guarding a bioluminescent core that pulsed ominously. Its legs, bent and muscular, propelled it with terrifying speed through the water. The swamp trembled with every movement, ripples surging outwards as if the land itself feared the creature's wrath. Fran took a steadying breath, her exhaustion eclipsed by the sheer magnitude of the challenge. What the hell is that thing? Baban's voice quivered, uncharacteristically shaken. This place is insane. Everything here feels like it's out of a nightmare. What should we do, Fran? Fran's blue eyes narrowed, her grip tightening around the sword. Despite her small frame, she stood resolute against the behemoth, her aura pulsing with determination. Shishao. Fran's voice was steady, unwavering. Be ready. It's time. Blue and white lightning sparked around her, dancing along her limbs like serpents of pure energy. The light illuminated the murky swamp, casting long shadows across the grotesque beast. Baban buzzed in anticipation as Fran chanted, her voice rising above the cacophony of the swamp. I call upon the light that bestows me with unrivaled power, she declared, her voice echoing as if carried by the heavens themselves. To protect my lord and his people, to vanquish all that disturbs his order, and to shield the innocent from every injustice. Her sword began to evolve and transform, its black steel shimmering as the lightning intensified. The blade's color shifted to an ethereal blend of blue and white, reminiscent of the towering giant who had once saved her life. Fran's body glowed, a radiant aura engulfing her as the lightning wrapped itself around her like armor. Her feet left the ground as she levitated slightly, her presence no longer that of a mere warrior but a living embodiment of divine justice. The swamp fell silent for a moment, the creature pausing as if sensing the seismic shift in power. Fran raised the sword high, its light piercing the oppressive gloom. With this power, I invoke the name of my lord's will. The absolution. The swamp exploded with light as Fran's new transformation completed. The beast roared in defiance, its tripartite jaw snapping open to reveal its glowing core. But Fran did not waver. Let's defeat this beast together, Shishao, she cried, charging toward the beast with unrelenting determination, her blade cutting through the darkness like a comet streaking across the night sky. Satria reclined lazily under the shade of a tree, watching his precious little kitten Fran training her heart out in the distance. Her determination brought a smile to his face, but he couldn't shake the guilt he felt about how hard she was pushing herself. He sighed, flipping open the dimensional chat on the holographic screen. He smirked. Time to shop and make it up to her. __. Dimensional chat. ID name, Shin. Coins, 173,000. Recent matches. Killed 40 frost giants, 20,000 copyright plus 1 dimensional travel ticket. Tamed Skull and Heitai, 40,000 copyright plus 2 surprise boxes. Defeated the Great White Serpent, 10,000 copyright plus 1 surprise box. Defeated the Kraken, 2,000 copyright plus 1 surprise box. Surprise boxes, 6. Dimensional travel tickets, 2. __. Satria grinned like a kid in a candy store. Finally, the moment I've been waiting for. __. Big sale 168 hours remaining. Unlock legend form, 50,000 copyright. Spewit Lance, 12,000 copyright. Manta Style, 12,500 copyright. Boosted Gear, 25,000 copyright. Divine Physique, 10,000 copyright. Tuya Mochizuki's smartphone, 10,500 copyright. Purchase confirmed. Unlock legend form. Spewit Lance. Manta Style. Tuya Mochizuki's smartphone. Remaining coins, 88,000 copyright. Satria felt a rush of power surge through him as his Cosmo plug upgraded and the smartphone in his hand shimmered with features he couldn't wait to exploit. This smartphone, if I can replicate and upgrade its features, I'd be swimming in cash. He, I could be a multi-dimensional tech mogul. His laughter echoed ominously. He stretched. Now, where should I test this new power? Oh, right, DXD's dimensional gap. Perfect. He paused, frowning slightly. Wait, wasn't something lives there? Meh, probably not important. His attention shifted as he opened the first of his surprise boxes. You opened the surprise box. Congrats. You obtained 1 packet of spam. Satria blinked at the packet in his hand. Harem, he muttered under his breath, though memories of his time in the Philippines brought a nostalgic smile to his face. Wait. Fran might like this. It's perfect for adventurers. Durable, tasty, and portable according to my friends. __. You opened the surprise box. Congrats. You obtained a toy laser pistol. __. Fire. Fire. Bum. Bum. Satria's eye twitched as the toy pistol let out obnoxious sounds. He held it up, his expression blank. What, the, actual, fuck? Throwing it aside, he opened the next box in frustration. __. You opened the surprise box. Congrats. You obtained Gaijin underwear. __. The sleek boxer briefs landed in his hands. He stared at them, his face darkening. Chat Jangkok. I'm giving you a 1-star rating, you piece of shit. He tossed the underwear to the ground and stomped on it repeatedly. Is my luck that bad? Who did I offend? __. You opened the surprise box. Congrats. You obtained James Bond's Rolex 5513. __. Satria's fury vanished as he held the elegant timepiece. The stainless steel gleamed in the sunlight, and the craftsmanship radiated sophistication. Nice. Very nice. This one I'll keep, he said, slipping it onto his wrist with a smug grin. __. You opened the surprise box. Congrats. You obtained Nikyu no Mi. __. Satria stared at the fruit, recognizing its paw-like shape. His mind flashed to Bartholomew Kuma, the tragic revolutionary he respected. Kuma. His voice wavered as he clutched the fruit. You didn't deserve what happened to you. I'll make sure your power isn't wasted. __. You opened the surprise box. Congrats. You obtained, the legend driver. __. The ornate device shimmered with power, its golden details exuding majesty. Satria's grin returned, wider than ever. Are you kidding me? This is overkill. He spun around in excitement. Not only Ultraman Legend, but now Kamen Rider Legend too. Oh, the things I'm going to do with this. He struck a ridiculous pose, his confidence soaring. I'm unstoppable. Watch out, peasant, bang, Satria is back. Nearby, Fran shook her head as she dodged the beast's attack. I'll never understand what goes on in that head of his. To be continued. Chapter 91, Chapter 75. Legacy of Immortal Dragon. Satria lounged on the sofa, twirling the Tuya Mochizuki smartphone in his hand. So, this thing can connect to gods in other worlds, huh? I wonder, what would happen if I made a prank call? The devious grin on his face could rival a trickster spirit. He opened the app labeled Divine Connect, which displayed a list of deities across different dimensions. He scrolled through the Divine Connect app until he landed on a name, Zeus, King of Gods. Oh ho! Big Daddy Thunderbolt of Maxwin himself? This is gonna be fun. Satria cracked his knuckles, switched to speaker mode, and dialed. After a few rings, a powerful, booming voice answered. Who calls Zeus, King of Olympus? Satria, suppressing his laughter, put on his best exaggerated accent. Hello, sir. This is Divine Tech Support, calling about a very serious issue with your heavenly computer system. My computer? Zeus's voice sounded confused. Yes, sir. Our system has detected a divine virus in your mainframe. It seems someone downloaded an unauthorized Mortal Affairs simulation game on your Olympian cloud. Zeus sputtered, clearly flustered. What? I have done no such thing. Who dares hack the King of Gods? Yes, sir. It's very serious, but don't worry, we can help resolve the issue for you. However, we will need some divine artifacts to unlock your system and remove the virus. Artifacts? What kind of nonsense is this? Zeus thundered, his temper rising. Yes, sir. We specifically need 3 artifacts, the Thunderbolt of Zeus, the Golden Fleece, and maybe, Aphrodite's comb. Satria barely held back his laughter as he added random items to the list. Zeus growled. How dare you imply I would be so careless as to let a virus infect my domain? Sir, it's not your fault. Satria continued, his tone saccharine sweet. It's those pesky mortals with their free Wi-Fi. But if you act now and send the artifacts, we'll resolve this for you immediately. No questions asked. Zeus's voice dropped to an ominous tone. You dare mock me? This is a scam, isn't it? Satria yelped internally but decided to play it cool. No scam, sir. Just trying to ensure your divine glory remains untarnished. And maybe, throw in Pandora's box while you're at it for a premium upgrade. Zeus roared, and suddenly, the skies outside began to darken. I will not be made a fool. Face the wrath of Zeus. A massive lightning bolt shot out of the phone, nearly vaporizing the couch. Satria dove behind a chair, clutching the phone as Zeus's wrath echoed through the room. The line went dead, leaving Satria sitting in a smoking ruin. He groaned, brushing soot from his face. Okay. Now I know why this shit is so cheap and maybe prank calling gods isn't the best use of this phone, he muttered. Kiyohime and Fatalis watched Satria's antics in dead silence, their expressions a perfect mix of disbelief and exhaustion. Finally, Fatalis broke the silence, rubbing his chin mockingly. Dear, Are you absolutely sure you and India aren't, from the same root? Serum pun. Satria's face twisted into an indignant pout. No. We're just sharing culture, okay? Nothing more. Kiyohime sighed and crossed her arms. But according to the information I've found in this world where your country exists, your cultures aren't that different. The biggest change seems to be your religion. Fatalis couldn't hold back anymore. Her burst into laughter, clutching his sides. Bahaha. So it's true, hey? Jadam really is the prindapan of Indonesia. Satria turned red, his glare flicking between the two. Puck you. I'm just testing this phone, okay? No need to overanalyze my prank calls. Kiyohime raised an eyebrow. Testing? You nearly caused a divine thunderstorm in the living room. Fatalis, still chuckling, smirked. Admit it, Satria, you're one viral scam call away from opening a divine tech support center. Maybe you can offer them extended warranties too. I hate you both, Satria muttered, clutching the phone protectively. This phone is a tool of infinite possibilities, and I'm just exploring its features. Kiyohime shook her head, already regretting being in the same room. Exploring its features? Right. Just don't summon another god with a fake fried chicken order or we're all moving out. Fatalis grinned. Nah, let him. I'm curious to see if Poseidon falls for a limited-time space dolphin insurance package. Satria turned away, grumbling. Ungrateful companions. I could have gifted you girl divine artifacts, but no, you just had to mock me. As he stomped out of the room, Kiyohime and Fatalis exchanged amused looks. I'm giving it an hour before he does something even dumber, Kiyohime said. An hour. Fatalis laughed. You're being generous. Madripur. The dense jungle surrounding Hydra's hidden base in Madripur buzzed with activity, though Kurumi and Satria remained well out of sight. Kurumi carefully observed the base from afar, analyzing its layout. A faint rustle behind her prompted her instincts to kick in. Without hesitation, she turned, revolver in hand, aimed directly at the source of the sound. Darling, I recognize your footsteps, Kurumi said with a sly smile, lowering her weapon. Try harder next time, maybe. Satria, casually brushing aside some leaves, smirked. Not bad, as expected from my girl. Though, maybe don't call me darling when you're in that form? It just feels weird. Kurumi's appearance shimmered slightly, her current male form giving her an almost princely look. She cocked an eyebrow at Satria's discomfort. Touché, are you the type of man who can't accept the disadvantages of your partner? I'm disappointed, darling. Truly. Not like that. Satria waved his hands defensively. I'm just. Look, I'm a straight guy, okay? How do I even explain this to you without it sounding wrong? Kurumi chuckled softly, patting his cheek. Relax, love. I'm only teasing you. She turned her gaze back to the base, pointing at a tunnel leading into the underground facility. Now, what's the plan? Satria crossed his arms, staring at the guarded tunnel. We could take the direct route, but that'll be bloody. With our power, we could handle them, but I'm worried about them using hostages or some other extreme measures. Agreed, Kurumi replied. Her crimson eyes shifted toward a side entrance with fewer guards. There's another way in, less populated. It might not take us directly where we want, but it's worth considering. Satria smiled. Look at you, planning strategies like a pro. I'm proud. Before Kurumi could respond, the dimensional chat buzzed simultaneously. __. Dimensional chat notification. Ding. New mission alert, destroy the Hydra base in Madripur. Participation, 1/3. Shin joined. Evil Spirit joined. Time will be stopped in the participants' worlds during the mission. Kazuma-sama, another mission? Seriously? Can you stop creating problems, at Shin? Shin, problems? This is called training. Come on, Kazuma, join us. It'll be fun. Kazuma-sama, no thanks. I'm a busy man with responsibilities. Shin, busy my ass. Spider-Man, need a hand? I'm free to help out if you need extra web power. Evil spirit, we'd appreciate your help, little spider. Feel free to join. Spider-Man joined. __. A soft shimmer of light signaled the arrival of two new participants. First was Spider-Man, or Peter Parker, clad in an upgraded suit resembling samurai armor with a spider motif, the design both practical and elegant. Beside him stood Baopon Sith, her outfit entirely different from her usual attire. She wore a sleek black and purple business ensemble, complete with a black rose robe draped over her back and oval-shaped metal reading glasses perched on her nose. Well, this is unexpected, Satria muttered, eyeing the newcomers. You both look like you're ready for a red carpet event, not a mission. Baopon Sith adjusted her glasses, her voice dripping with mock politeness. I'm always ready to leave an impression. But I assure you, I'm more than prepared to make Hydra regret their existence. Spider-Man struck a confident pose, flexing his armored gloves. And I'm here to kick ass and take names. Let's do this. Kurumi smirked, glancing at Satria. With a team like this, darling, it seems we're destined for victory. Peter looked at the tall, handsome man in a classic Victorian suit exuding a sinister aura. His instincts screamed danger, yet there was something oddly familiar about him. Who are you? Peter asked cautiously, his spider sense tingling slightly. The man smirked, his crimson eyes gleaming. I feel hurt that you've forgotten about your big sister, little spider. He snapped his fingers, and with a shimmer of dark energy, his form reverted to that of Kurumi. Peter's jaw dropped. What? How is that possible, Kurumi? And why? Kurumi chuckled at his reaction. Aira, it's because my male identity is already known in this city. A disguise was necessary, and I thought why not make it a dashing one. Baopon Sith, standing beside Peter, tilted her head curiously. A vampire, hey? Maybe we're not so different after all. Looking forward to working with you again, Kurumi. Aira half vampire, technically, Kurumi corrected, her tone playful yet elegant. She turned her attention to Baopon, offering a knowing smile. But I feel the same as you, Baopon-san. Baopon gave a polite nod. Baopon Sith. It's a pleasure. Let's get along well from now on. Likewise, Baopon-san, Kurumi replied, her smile deepening as she clasped her hands. Satria, meanwhile, smirked, his expression one of smug amusement. Forget about her for a second. Even I was shocked the first time I saw her transform into some ridiculously handsome dude. Honestly, Kurumi, you've outdone yourself. Brother Peter, it looks like your taste has improved. Is this the effect of having two girlfriends, or am I imagining things? Peter scratched the back of his head, embarrassed by the compliment. You think so? Thanks, Satria, I guess. Baopon stepped forward with a proud smile, placing a hand on Peter's shoulder. Phew, of course he's improved. I wouldn't allow my fiancé to walk around looking silly or acting foolish. He's a reflection of me, after all. Kurumi let out a melodious laugh. How lucky! My puppy never listens to me or any of the other girls. He does whatever he wants and ends up embarrassing us all with his ridiculous antics. Tell me, Baopon-san, do you have any tips for disciplining a bad boy like him? Baopon's eyes glinted with sadistic delight. Is that so? Well, fortunate for you, Kurumi, discipline is my specialty. We can discuss this in detail once we've finished the mission. Peter visibly trembled, his face pale. Do we really need to talk about that now? I mean, shouldn't we focus on the mission? A soft or peaceful approach to any problem is always better, right? Satria, sensing the growing alliance between Kurumi and Beoban, immediately felt a sense of impending doom. Yet, what he said? Let's not get carried away here, ladies. Kurumi silenced him with a playful tap of her index finger on his lips. Nope. Beoban echoed her with a mischievous grin. Nope. Satria groaned inwardly. Great. Just what I needed, a deadly alliance of sadistic women. Antarctica. The icy winds howled across the frozen wasteland, yet the battlefield between Satria and Valyana radiated intense energy. Satria dodged Valyana's juggernaut mode attacks effortlessly, a bored expression on his face. Is that all? I'm starting to feel bored now, he teased, yawning as if he were lounging rather than fighting. Valyana gritted her teeth, her aura flaring with unrelenting fury. Damn it! You slippery little bastard! Satria raised an eyebrow as he sidestepped another flurry of strikes. I don't remember teaching any of my girls to use such vulgar language. That calls for punishment. Valyana smirked, her defiance unyielding. Bring it on. Show me what you've got. Satria's hand formed a motion resembling a dragon, his fingers curling like fangs. He struck swiftly, targeting precise points on Valyana's body. Dragon bite. Valyana's body stiffened as a wave of numbness spread through her limbs. She staggered, her chi flow disrupted and her power slipping out of her control. Akh! She cried out, feeling the crushing weight of his technique. Even in juggernaut mode. I can't touch him? What did he just do to me? Satria's smirk grew wider. Giving up, sweetie? If you surrender now, we can end this training session, and you might still get your reward. His teasing tone grated on her pride. Don't give in, partner. Albion's voice thundered in her mind. How hard is it to land one hit on this guy? Are you going to let him humiliate you like this? Shut up. Valyana shot back at her partner. Her eyes burned with determination as she steadied herself. I'm Valyana Matsumi, the strongest white dragon emperor. I never back down from a challenge. Despite the numbness, Valyana closed her eyes, focusing inward. She let go of her frustration and trusted her instincts to guide her. Satria smiled, impressed by her resolve. All right, let's see what you've got. He prepared to strike again, his movements swift and precise. There it is. Valyana felt the shift in the air as Satria approached. Her power surged. White Dragon Vacuum. A powerful force pulled in all mana within range, disrupting Satria's speed advantage. Take this, idiot! Dimension Breaker! Valyana roared, unleashing a devastating punch fueled by the absorbed energy, designed to nullify all magic and overwhelm her opponent. Crash! The force of the attack sent shockwaves through the icy ground. Valyana breathed heavily, her eyes scanning the battlefield. Did I get him? The dust settled, revealing Satria holding her punch with his right hand. His arm was trembling, barely intact, the flesh torn and on the verge of being severed. You! Satria exhaled, a sly grin on his face. You're good. Almost got me. Almost. Valyana's eyes widened in disbelief. Before she could react, Satria summoned a blue sphere around them. Room. His left hand made a slicing motion. Shambles. In an instant, Valyana's body was split into two, her upper and lower halves floating harmlessly in the air. Damn it, she growled, powerless as her body reverted to its normal form. Satria chuckled, his right arm regenerating rapidly. The excruciating pain seemed to amuse him. Congratulations, dear! You passed the test. He flexed his newly restored arm. Not gonna lie, though. That punch of yours could have knocked me out if I hadn't minimized my mana in time. Valyana clenched her fists, frustration etched on her face. The test was to land one punch, and I did. But it's not enough. I want to fight you at your full strength. Satria flicked her forehead gently, earning a yelp. Ow! What was that for? She grumbled, rubbing the sore spot. Listen up, Satria began, his voice calm yet firm. The world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. It's cruel, unfair, and will knock you down if you let it. But it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Valyana stared at him, speechless. You're better than you think you are, Valyana, he continued, his tone softening. And no matter what, I'll always love you. You're my family, one of the best things in my life. He kissed her forehead tenderly. Valyana's frustration melted away, replaced by a warm smile. She hugged him tightly. Thank you. You're the only one who treats me with this much kindness. I'll never let you go. Albion groaned in her mind. Here we go again. I bet they're going to get all lovey-dovey after this. Satria turned his attention to the temple guardian, Lei Kong, who had been observing silently. Well, old man, what do you think? Did she pass the test? Lei Kong nodded. Her focus has improved greatly. However, the final test lies with me. He stepped forward, taking a battle stance. Valyana smirked, her confidence reignited. You may have been better than me before, but I'm a new person now. Prove it, Lei Kong challenged. The battle commenced, and Valyana quickly gained the upper hand. She deflected Lei Kong's strikes with ease, altering his momentum and dislocating his joints before throwing him to the ground. Impressive, Lei Kong admitted, resetting his joints. He leaped at her, aiming for a powerful kick. Flashing White Dragon. Valyana used a rapid footwork technique to dodge his attack and charged forward. She clenched her fist. Albion Punch. The impact sent Lei Kong flying into the Forbidden Chamber, where the immortal dragon rested. Albion groaned. Could you not tarnish my name with that terrible move name? Shut up, Albion. It's perfect. Valyana shot back. Satria laughed. Let's go see what's inside. The couple approached Lei Kong, who sat cross-legged on the cold floor, his gaze fixed on the skeleton of a colossal dragon resting behind him. The air was heavy with an unexplainable energy. So, this immortal dragon is dead. Valyana crossed her arms, a hint of disappointment in her tone. What a disappointment! Indeed, Lei Kong replied with a solemn nod. The dragon perished long ago. But congratulations, Valyana. You've passed the test. Valyana furrowed her brow, feeling unsatisfied. Before she could respond, Satria's eyes narrowed. Wait! He murmured. There's something here. Something watching us. Before anyone could react, a glowing yellow orb emerged from the skeleton. It began to shift and reshape, eventually forming into a tiny, chibi golden dragon floating midair. Is this the so-called immortal dragon? Albion's voice sounded amused. He's so small and funny-looking. You. Lei Kong's eyes widened in disbelief as he stared at the spectral dragon. Who are you? Valyana demanded, stepping forward cautiously. The chibi dragon tilted its head before speaking in a light-hearted yet regal tone. Sharp as ever, young one. I am the immortal dragon, or at least a fragment of what remains of my soul. You've done well, Valyana, to come this far. You've proven yourself worthy to inherit my power. Congratulations! Wait, worthy? Valyana raised an eyebrow. Why me? And who exactly are you? The chibi dragon chuckled. Ah, always with the questions. You remind me of someone, but no spoilers. As for why you? Let's just say. I lost a bet. Valyana blinked. A bet? Seriously? The dragon's carefree laughter echoed in the chamber. Yes, a bet. Now, no need to dwell on the details. I'm merely a fragment of my former self, and my time here is limited. So let's get to the good part. The chibi dragon conjured a glowing golden amulet, its radiant energy illuminating the chamber. This amulet contains a portion of my power. Use it wisely, young dragon. The dragon floated closer to Valyuna, dropping the amulet into her hands. As she admired the artifact, the chibi dragon turned to Satria with a mischievous smirk. And you, a problematic brat with white hair who loves taunting everyone, you'd better brace yourself. Your adventures ahead will be far from peaceful. Dangerous beings will set their eyes on you. Good luck. Before anyone could reply, the dragon sighed dramatically. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got an anime episode waiting. Farewell. With a flash, the spirit faded into nothingness. The room fell silent. What a rude dragon, Satria muttered, crossing his arms. I'm not problematic, right, Valyuna? Valyuna sighed, clearly done with his antics. Let's not start this, hubby. Whatever. She stepped closer to him, her lips curving into a playful smirk. Now that we're done here, let's go somewhere private. Just the two of us. Satria raised an eyebrow. Can we save this for tomorrow? Valyuna leaned in, her voice dropping to a sultry whisper. Nope. I can't wait any longer. Tonight, you're all mine. Her breath tickled his ear as she added in a teasing tone, I'll squeeze you dry until there's nothing left of you, hubby. Satria's face turned beet red. Geez, you perverted woman. Turning away from her mischievous grin, he addressed Lei Kong. Thank you for guiding my adorable little dragon through this experience. As a token of gratitude, I'll grant you one wish. Anything you want, just say the word. Lei Kong smiled faintly, shaking his head. I have no desires. Seeing my student succeed is reward enough. Satria frowned. Come on, you've got to want something. How about this? He tossed a pokeball onto the ground, and with a burst of light, a massive hermit crab emerged. Its shell resembled a dinosaur skull, and iron chains bound its thrashing claws. Where did you even get that? Valyuna exclaimed, her eyes narrowing. And is it still alive? That thing doesn't look friendly at all. Satria beamed. I caught him in the deep sea near Antarctica. Isn't he cool? A handsome, exotic hermit crab like this is rare. Please let me keep him. Valyuna facepalmed, her patience thinning. Send it back where it belongs. Kiyohime will scold at you if she finds out you brought another weird creature home. But he's so cool. Satria whined. Albion groaned. You're both ridiculous. A match made in heaven. Lei Kong, watching the scene with a mix of amusement and exasperation, muttered under his breath, what a troublesome pair. To be continued. Chapter 92, Side Story, Ambush. Cadmus Labs. An explosion sends two scientists out of the building, but unexpectedly someone comes to rescue them. It's the Kid Flash, and he throws them both to the firefighter outside. Hey! It's the Flash Boy. Good job, kiddo. It's not Flash Boy but Kid Flash. Kid Flash is upset because people always mistake his nickname. Teenagers with black skin approach the firefighter. Allow me to borrow this. Aqualad Tattoo lit up, pulled the water from the hose and created a water pillar. Robin went through the window to put down Kid Flash and the scientists. I want to investigate something first, you guys wait here, Robin tells his team members, and he disappears from their sight. Why is he not inviting me? Waiting is boring, I want some action. Ruby pouted because her senior left her. Amelia and Artemis check the condition of the scientist. They can see the scientist's skin is burned because of the explosion. He gets wounds from the explosion. We need a medic, Artemis said after checking them. Ugh! It's so damn hurt. Let me help him. Amelia's put her hand close to the scientist's wound. Intermediate healing magic. The skin of scientists who get burned is slowly healing, surprising everyone. How are you feeling? If it still hurts, let me know, okay? She smiles beautifully, making the most of the man sinking to her on the spot. She is. Angel. You male are stupid and care to explain what you do before. Artemis is interested in Amelia's superpower, to think she can heal such a wound in a short time. Is that perhaps magic? Aqualad does not expect someone in this group to be capable of healing magic. You are right, Aqualad-kun, I hope my ability can be useful to help my friend and others. Amelia answered his question. Everyone in the group can tell Amelia is a good person and will be pleased to have her as part of this team. After making sure everything is fine, the group goes inside the building. Quad Shadow. Robin teleports back to the group using his weapon ability. With this skill he can create 4 phantoms and travel to a place or people he marked with his phantom. Everyone in the group except Ruby and Amelia holds their battle stance because think it's the enemy who ambushes them. Robin. Welcome back, Robin-kun. What the? Damn, you shocking us, man. I never knew you could do something like that. Kid Flash is surprised like others when knowing Robin has superpowers too. What you found? Aqualad waiting for his report. The story is long. More importantly, I found something suspicious inside the building. From gadget in his hand, screen pops up showing the structure of the building. There is a high-speed elevator and it shouldn't exist in a building this small. Robin walked to the suspicious door and opened it, showing a long tunnel to the underground. You truly handle it by yourself, but it's spare us the problem, Aqualad said. I guess Batman was right to suspect this place, Artemis commented before Robin stabbed the floor with his sword. What do you want to do now? She sees the Batman Jr. want to perform something odd again. Get closer to me, let's not waste time, Robin said to his team, and they did as he ordered. The shadow below Robin engulfed all of them and teleported the group to their destination. They now arrived at a door that had SL26. Wow! What is that ability, Robin? You are amazing. Ruby has sparkling eyes and asks her senior about his ability that able to teleport the group. I agree with Rose-chan, you have incredible ability, Robin-kun. Amelia praised him too. What the fuck? Artemis was once again surprised at Robin's ability. What she heard, this guy was a normal human like her. Is he meta-human too? Where did he get this kind of power? Kid Flash tapped Robin's shoulder. Okay. I admit that is kinda of amazing too, but don't think only with that you can defeat me as the most popular guy here. You annoying like that dunce, give me space. Robin typed on his computer, and after a moment he smiled. Alright, security's cleared. Aqualad pried open the door and walked into the hall. Well, this is Project Cadmus, he said before Kid Flash and Ruby sped ahead. Kid, Rose, wait. Aqualad whispered loudly before Kid Flash and Ruby ran into a herd of giant mammoth-looking aliens. The others caught up and saw a smaller alien on one's head with horns that glowed for a moment. Pug. Sorry to interrupt your sleep, but we need your help. Amelia speaks to the glintstone on her neck and the small creature like a cat coming out from the gem. Sure, Leah. Where are we now? Are we not in our dot? Puck sees his daughter cross her fingers and tells him to not continue the word because according to Robin it's not the right time to expose they are from another world. I see. But let me be judge, are they trustworthy enough to be friends of my Leah? Yet. Nothing strange here. The aliens left down the hall before the teens went to a closed door, and picked the lock. When they walked inside, they saw a bunch of tubes with insect-looking aliens generating electricity. This must be how this is off-grid. They make their electricity. Artemis commented before Robin hooked up to a computer. They're called xenomorphs. Telepathic. Steel strong claws. Super strength. These things are weapons. Artemis looked to the screen and thought. But why are they making them? Or what it is for? Robin pulled another page up. There's also a Project KR, and WG, but they're triple encrypted. Suddenly a male's voice spoke up. Halt! Looking back, they saw a tall muscular man. He's wearing a dark blue jumpsuit with a golden helmet and golden shoulder and wrist pads with a shield. A bunch of xenomorphs surrounded him. This is Guardian. To be continued. Chapter 93, Chapter 76. The Requiem of Darkness. The grand meeting room was an opulent display of wealth and power, its atmosphere thick with unspoken tension. William, the ambitious patron of Satria, entered the room flanked by two imposing bodyguards. Waiting for him at the head of the room was Norman Osborn, the enigmatic founder of Oscorp, whose reputation preceded him. Norman greeted him with a wide, calculated smile. Mr. William. A pleasure to meet you in person. His eyes flickered toward the bodyguards. You've brought company, I see. But where's the man who defeated my fighter? William nodded politely, masking his unease. Thank you, Sir Norman. The pleasure is mine. As for him, he's preoccupied with other matters. William then turned to his guards, signaling for them to leave. You two, wait outside. I need privacy for this meeting. The guards hesitated for a moment before complying, leaving William alone with Norman. Norman chuckled, pouring himself a glass of fine wine from a lavish decanter. How thoughtful of you! Care for a drink? We have some of the finest wines and top-grade liquors here. Just name your poison. William declined with a polite smile, his instincts on high alert. Thank you for the kind offer, Sir Norman, but I'll pass for now. Norman shrugged, sipping his wine. Suit yourself. But let's cut to the chase. It's not every day someone from Indonesia decides to join an event of this caliber. Why risk your life and reputation in this ruthless game? Surely, you understand what's at stake. William adjusted his tie, meeting Norman's gaze evenly. At first, I was pushed into this by someone persistent, but I've come to see the opportunity it presents. In business, as you know, taking a leap of faith is often necessary to achieve something greater. Norman raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Well said, young man. But as a seasoned player in this game, allow me to offer you some guidance. And what might that be? William asked, his tone cautious. Norman leaned forward, a predatory glint in his eye. Tell me the identity of your fighter. Share his secrets, and I guarantee you wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Not only that, but I'll ensure you ascend to the pinnacle of power in your country. Think about it: unlimited resources, prestige, and protection. William's expression hardened. And why would you want to know about him? Norman smirked, swirling the wine in his glass. He seems like someone who does not serve anyone, yet. My associates and I are interested in recruiting him for something far bigger than this tournament. Before William could respond, Norman clapped his hands. Suddenly, the room was flooded with masked ninjas, their blades gleaming in the dim light. Two of William's own guards reappeared, guns drawn. Since when? William stammered, his heart sinking. One of the guards grinned smugly. Sorry, boss. What he's offering is just too good to pass up. Do what he says, or it won't just be you who suffers. Your family's lives are on the line too. Norman's voice was calm, almost mocking. Seize him. The ninjas closed in, and before William could react, a tranquilizer dart struck him in the neck. His vision blurred, and the world around him faded into darkness. One of Norman's subordinates burst into the room with urgency, holding up a tablet. Sir! You need to see this. Norman's eyes narrowed as he took the device, watching the footage from Hydra's lab. His expression shifted from surprise to sinister amusement. So, you've come as well, Spider-Man, Norman murmured, his grin widening. He leaned back in his chair, already scheming. Things just got a lot more interesting. Hydra Base. Madripur. 3 figures moved stealthily through the shadows, avoiding the patrolling guards and surveillance cameras with practiced precision. Master, should I take care of them? Baopan whispered, her crimson eyes gleaming with mischief. Peter shook his head, holding up a hand to halt her. No need for unnecessary bloodshed. Let me handle it. Effortlessly, Peter shot webs from his wrists, snaring the guards and stringing them up on the ceiling like marionettes. With practiced ease, he cracked the code on the access panel and disabled the cameras monitoring the area. Impressive as always, Master Baopan cooed, glancing around. By the way, Kurumi, where's your consort? I just noticed he's not with us anymore. Kurumi adjusted her hat, her golden eye glinting faintly in the dim light. He said he wanted to check something interesting. Typical of him. Don't worry, he can handle himself. Satria POV. For a speedster like Satria, walls were merely suggestions. The labyrinthine halls of the Hydra base were no obstacle as he zipped from room to room, exploring every corner with gleeful curiosity. The wealth of knowledge and technology stored within the base was staggering. Everything from cutting-edge medical advancements to the blueprints of apocalyptic weapons lay waiting to be discovered. These idiots really don't know the meaning of too much power, Satria muttered, scooping up everything that seemed remotely valuable into his dimensional storage. His fingers itched as he spotted glowing magical artifacts, encrypted maps of uncharted regions, and files on forbidden experiments. And then he saw a tome sitting on a pedestal in an isolated chamber, its cover a patchwork of pale, leathery material. What is this made of human skin? Satria muttered, stepping closer. The book radiated a dark, ominous energy that made his skin crawl. Curiosity overrode caution as he picked up the book, its heavy weight feeling almost alive in his hands. He opened it, revealing pages inscribed with strange symbols and phrases in an unknown language. As he read, a low, guttural voice echoed in his mind. Read. Kill. Conquer. Destroy. Let us be one. Together, we are unstoppable. Ugh, weird voices in my head again, Satria muttered, rolling his eyes. He ignored the unsettling whispers, his curiosity urging him to delve deeper. His gaze focused on a diagram detailing a summoning ritual, something about accessing the dark dimension. Despite the malevolent aura of the book, his instincts told him it held invaluable knowledge, or at the very least, a clue to Hydra's deeper secrets. Closing his eyes, Satria allowed his mind to connect to the essence embedded within the tome. Suddenly, his consciousness was pulled into a nightmarish vision. In his mind's eye, Satria found himself standing in a fiery wasteland. Rivers of molten lava crisscrossed a landscape of jagged rocks, with the towering, brooding castle looming in the distance. A presence stirred. Something ancient, vast, and filled with malice. Before Satria could react, the ground beneath him opened, and dark tendrils shot out, wrapping around him like chains. The world spun as he was dragged, screaming, into the core of the realm. A suffocating aura filled the air as Satria stood before the towering, shadowy figure. The being radiated raw power, and its fiery, otherworldly eyes bore into him with disdain. To think a mortal like you dares to peek into my domain without my permission, the dark figure rumbled, its voice echoing like distant thunder. Amuse me, or prepare to be erased from existence. Satria's mind raced, but he forced a grin. Where did those idiots even find this book? Calm down, Satria. Don't screw this up, or this guy might target you and the people you care about. Clearing his throat, he straightened up and put on his usual charming demeanor. Greetings, mighty Dark Lord. My name is Satria, the most reliable guy anyone could trust. I didn't mean to intrude, it's just a coincidence. Honestly. But wow, you have an amazing castle, and your power overwhelming, to say the least. The shadow paused for a moment, seemingly intrigued by Satria's lack of fear. Humph. Most tremble before me, yet you act peculiar. I sense an irritating light within you, disgusting, yet strangely balanced by the darkness you carry. What are you, mortal? Satria shrugged, trying to appear nonchalant. Born human, raised normal, well, mostly. I don't know what you're seeing, but I'll take it as a compliment. Now, how about you? Mind introducing yourself? Maybe we can even be pals. It's not every day I meet someone as extraordinary as you, Lord of Darkness. The shadow's eyes flared with a mixture of amusement and skepticism. Then, it let out a booming laugh. Ha ha ha. You're either incredibly foolish or cunning. Very well, I'll humor you. I am Dormammu, the sole ruler of the dark dimension. But tell me, what is this pal you speak of? Do you wish to join my cult? Or perhaps you seek my immense power? Satria grinned and shook his head. Nope, I mean pal as in a friend. You know, a buddy? Someone who's got your back. Dormammu tilted his head, genuinely puzzled. Friend? What is a friend? Satria's smile softened. A friend is someone who respects you, supports you, and builds trust with you. Someone you can share your thoughts and struggles with. You know, a connection beyond just power and dominance. Sound appealing? Dormammu scoffed, his voice dripping with disdain. Foolishness. Do you truly believe such nonsense matters in the grand scheme? Listen well, mortal. Soon, I will conquer your world. All will bow to me, including you. And even after hearing this, you still wish to call me a friend. Before Dormammu could continue his monologue, Satria transformed into his god of ultra form and punched the Dark Lord square in the face. The blow echoed through the throne room. You dare! Dormammu roared, his form rippling with fury. Do you have a death wish? Another uppercut silenced him, sending the Dark Lord staggering back. Shut up for a second, will you? Satria snapped. No one can reject a punch filled with love. Dormammu, surprisingly, didn't retaliate. He stared at Satria, confused and intrigued. Your punches, they hurt. But why? And why do you show no fear of me? Satria leaned in, his tone suddenly serious. Because I see through you. You crave something more than conquest and power, you crave defeat, Dormammu. Winning all the time gets boring, doesn't it? It's like eating the same food every day. You're not fighting for fun or freedom, you're trying to prove something. So let me ask you this, when you've conquered everything, then what? Ruling lifeless puppets like your cult? Sounds miserable. Dormammu was silent, his fiery eyes narrowing. You know I'm right, Satria continued. And judging by your tone and that brief flicker in your face, you're looking for recognition, family approval, perhaps? A sibling? A parent? Someone who made you feel insignificant? The Dark Lord froze, his massive form stiffening. Hit the nail on the head, didn't I? Satria pressed. Don't worry, you're not alone. I do dumb stuff to impress my family too. They love me for it, though they also get mad when I screw up. It's normal. So, Dormammu, why not share what's really eating at you? I can see we've got more in common than you think. Dormammu turned away, but his voice softened, almost reluctant. I don't trust you, yet. But... He hesitated before continuing. My mother. She always favored my sister, praised her endlessly while belittling me. My sister calls my ambitions foolish, my visions grandiose. But everything I've done, every world I've conquered, was to show them my worth. Yet, it's never enough. Satria nodded, walking over and placing a hand on Dormammu's towering form. Sounds like tough love to me. Look, you're great just the way you are. And hey, your family still talks to you, right? That means they care, even if they're not showing it the way you want. Now, let's take a break from all this heavy stuff. Have you ever tried Indonesian cuisine? I've got a dish you'll love. Dormammu snorted. I tolerate no disappointment, mortal. But I'll indulge you this once. Show me your so-called delicacy, and don't waste my time. The minions of Dormammu, towering shadow-like beings, entered the grand chamber carrying an extravagant feast. The centerpiece was a massive, golden-crusted crab, its crispy body serving as a platter. Atop it lay perfectly cooked fried rice and an extraordinary curry, its fiery aroma filling the room. The curry, a secret recipe originally crafted by Satria for Fran, was spiced to an intensity that could awaken even a dormant volcano. Beside the dish was an otherworldly cocktail, shined in the darkness, its luminescent liquid glowing eerily in the dim light of Dormammu's throne room. Have a seat, great Dormammu, Satria said with a bright grin, gesturing to a conjured table and chair. This is one of my finest creation. Please, give me your honest opinion after tasting it. Dormammu hesitated. As a cosmic entity, he had no need for sustenance, but the intoxicating fragrance of the meal was irresistible. He took his seat, the ground quaking slightly under his enormous form. Tentatively, he picked up a spoon, scooping a portion of the fried rice and curry. The moment the food touched his palate, his fiery eyes widened in astonishment. The flavors were an explosion of spice and depth, harmonized perfectly with the crab's delicate crunch. The curry's heat was intense yet balanced, creating a delightful burn that only enhanced the experience. Dormammu's flames dimmed momentarily, a rare sign of satisfaction. He reached for the cocktail, and its refreshing, glowing liquid washed over his senses, cooling him to the core. This is incredible! Dormammu exclaimed, his booming voice echoing through the chamber. Never in my existence have I tasted anything like this. The food in my realm is bland and lifeless, but this is divine. You are not bad for a mere mortal. Dormammu devoured the meal with vigor, his immense pride momentarily overshadowed by sheer enjoyment. Between bites, he looked up at Satria, his fiery gaze tinged with curiosity. Why do you do this? Why go to such lengths to please me? I am Dormammu, the embodiment of darkness and destruction. Do you not fear death or me? Satria chuckled, leaning casually against the table. Nah. Like I said, life's all about the thrill. Besides, having the Dark Lord as a friend? That's something I can brag about. Imagine me telling people, yeah, my pal Dormammu tried my cooking, loved it, and even let me crash at his place. Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Dormammu stared at him, stunned by the audacity of the human before him. Then, for the first time in centuries, the Dark Lord burst into genuine laughter. You are a strange one, Satria. Very well, you have amused me. As a reward for your courage and skill, I shall grant you a fragment of my power. With a wave of his hand, Dormammu unleashed a fiery black flame that enveloped Satria. The energy surged through him, a potent mix of dark magic and raw power. Satria flexed his fingers, feeling the newfound energy course through him. Yet, I'm honored. Thanks, Flamehead. By the way, mind if I look around your fancy castle? Got some interesting vibes here. Dormammu smirked, his ego stroked by Satria's casual yet admiring tone. Go ahead, mortal. Feel free to explore my domain. But do not touch anything that might summon doom upon yourself, unless you find it entertaining. Satria wandered through the vast halls of Dormammu's castle, marveling at its surreal beauty. Towering walls shimmered with dark energy, and glowing runes etched themselves into the air as he passed. He eventually found himself in a grand library, shelves stretching endlessly into the void. Whoa! Now this is a gold mine, Satria whispered, his eyes scanning tomes radiating an ominous aura. Pulling a random book from the shelf, he began flipping through its pages. Dark magic symbols danced across the parchment, whispering secrets of forbidden knowledge. His curiosity piqued, he settled into a corner, poring over spells and rituals that could shape worlds. Occasionally, Dormammu himself appeared, drawn by Satria's questions or curiosity. Flamehead! Satria called one day, waving an ancient tome. This thing here, what's the deal with summoning creatures from the abyss? Is there, like, a cooldown or something? Dormammu raised a flaming brow but approached, peering over Satria's shoulder. That is a summoning ritual for shadow beasts. They are loyal but require constant sustenance from the summoner. Too much trouble, even for me. But, why do you ask? Just curious, Satria replied with a grin. And hey, thanks for letting me hang out here. By the way, I was thinking, have you ever tried a cooking competition? You'd probably crush it with your dramatic flair and all. Dormammu paused, contemplating the absurdity of the suggestion. But instead of dismissing it, he chuckled. You are peculiar, mortal. Very well. Teach me this competition of yours, and I may consider it amusing. From that day, Satria's presence became a strange but welcome disruption in Dormammu's dark domain. The Dark Lord found himself laughing more often, enjoying not just the human's cooking but also his audacious personality. Satria, in turn, gained a powerful if unconventional ally and access to the secrets of the Dark Dimension. Their unlikely friendship became the stuff of legend, proof that even in the darkest places, a little light, and good food, could spark something extraordinary. Satria stood at the edge of Dormammu's fiery throne room, the portal back to his world swirling behind him. He turned to face the Dark Lord, a mixture of gratitude and amusement on his face. Thanks for everything, Flamehead. Your hospitality was unforgettable. But now it's time for me to head back. Do you know? There's a handful of people waiting for me in my world. Dormammu's flaming visage flickered, his usual arrogance giving way to a rare glimmer of vulnerability. You're leaving? Just like that, he said, his voice echoing with a tinge of reluctance. At least stay for 100 years. Who's going to cook me these feasts if you're gone? Satria sighed, a warm smile playing on his lips. Listen, bro. I've got responsibilities back home, people who rely on me. But don't worry, alright? This isn't goodbye forever. I'll definitely visit your place again. Dormammu crossed his arms, his towering figure looming over Satria. For a moment, his usual intimidating aura softened. You'd better hold that promise, mortal. And when you do return. Dormammu's fiery eyes burned brighter, his booming voice regaining its commanding tone, be stronger than you are now. Because I haven't given up on conquering your world or taking you under my dominion. Ha ha ha. Satria smirked, stepping into the glowing portal. Yet, I'll be ready. Just make sure you practice your cooking skills while I'm gone. See you around, Flamehead. As the portal closed behind him, Dormammu stood in silence, staring at the space where Satria had been. A rare smile crept across his face, a mixture of amusement and admiration. That insolent mortal! What a strange creature! I'll look forward to our next meeting. In the quiet of his dark domain, Dormammu turned back to his throne, his mind replaying the taste of Satria's cooking and the warmth of their unexpected friendship. For the first time in eons, the Dark Lord felt something new, a flicker of anticipation for the future. Satria opened his eyes, his senses reeling as he adjusted to his surroundings. The familiar hum of his watch caught his attention. Wait, only 1 minute past here, he muttered, staring at the device in disbelief. But I spent a long time in that dark dimension. What kind of temporal madness was that? Damn, he muttered, sitting up. That was one hell of a trip. And now I've got this weird chill running down my spine. Who'd have thought that book would be a gateway to the final boss himself? I can't let this fall into the wrong hands. He grabbed the ominous book and, with a flick of his wrist, tossed it into his dimensional storage. As he exhaled in relief, his attention was drawn to a sudden glow on his hand. A golden ring with dragon symbol materialized, shimmering with an ethereal light before settling snugly onto his finger. Satria stared at it, confused yet strangely comforted. "What the?" Satria whispered, examining the ring. It felt familiar, like a fragment of a forgotten memory stirring deep within him. Try as he might, the details eluded him, locked away behind an unyielding mental barrier. "This ring, it's from someone important to me. But who? Why can't I remember?" Suddenly, a system notification blared in his mind, breaking his thoughts. ___. Ultimate skill, the Golden Order activated. You have received the blessing of the Dark Lord. Hosts can choose one job to evolve and acquire a new skill. Processing. 3, 2, 1. New skills unlocked. The Darkest Ultra. Dormammu's Herald. Overlord. __. Satria stared at the glowing text in disbelief. His mind raced, piecing together fragments of memory and reality. "Hold up! How the hell is this happening?" he muttered. "I thought I got rid of that gamer system ages ago. Where is this coming from?" The golden ring on his finger pulsed faintly, as if answering him. The faintest echo of Dormammu's voice lingered in his mind, "Be stronger than you are now." Satria sighed, rubbing his temple. "This is getting ridiculous. First a god-level chef contest with the Dark Lord, now this? What's next, an interdimensional PDA meeting?" Yet, despite his protests, he couldn't deny the thrill coursing through his veins. His instincts told him that this was just the beginning of something even greater. "All right," he said, cracking his knuckles and grinning. "Let's see what kind of crazy ride you're throwing at me this time." He reached out to select his path. Uzumaki Kyomashia, Kyoto. Satria Unii-chan. Play another song. We want to hear more. Naruto's twin children pleaded, their eyes sparkling with excitement. "Right? Satria's musical talent is no joke," Fatalis chimed in, leaning back comfortably. "Your voice is hypnotic. It's like the world pauses when you start singing." Kiyohime patted Satria's head gently, a rare but affectionate gesture. "Danasama, you have so many talents. If only you didn't act so strangely at times, you'd be the perfect husband." "I agree," Konako added with a mischievous smile, snuggling closer to Satria and sniffing him lightly. It had become her new routine. But Senpai's quirks make him more fun. He wouldn't be the same otherwise. Satria's sweat dropped as his personal space rapidly diminished. "All right, can you boys and girls at least give me some breathing room?" A resounding nope echoed in unison from everyone around him, leaving him with no choice but to sigh in defeat. As he strummed his guitar absent-mindedly, a sharp pang resonated through his mind. He froze, his expression shifting from relaxed to serious as a voice echoed in his thoughts. A screen materialized in front of him, not the familiar dimensional chat screen, but something new. "Well, that's unexpected," Satria murmured, drawing the attention of those around him. "What's wrong, Danasama?" Kiyohime asked, her sharp senses picking up on the shift in his demeanor. Satria set the guitar down, his gaze focused. "One of my clones just encountered something strange. He found a cursed book that connected him to a being called Dormammu. And now, I suddenly have a system, yes, that kind of system that's offering me new skills." Dormammu. Kurika's voice faltered, her usually confident demeanor replaced with unease. "You can't be serious. You know him, Kurika?" Ria asked, noticing her sister-wife's anxious expression. Kurika nodded grimly. "Yes. Dormammu is the ruler of the Dark Dimension. He's a cosmic-level threat who's been trying to breach this universe for centuries. My teacher, the Ancient One, dedicated her life to keeping him at bay. If he's managed to establish even a minor foothold here, it's bad news for everyone. Another problem. Psycho muttered, exasperation evident in her tone. Can't we get a break? Just once. She glanced at their children playing nearby. I just want them to have a normal life. Konako tilted her head, her curiosity outweighing her concern. Senpai. Is this Dormammu guy stronger than Buku's brother? That made Fatalis laugh, almost spilling her tea. You're comparing a Siskinmu to the literal embodiment of darkness? Even if your entire world united, it wouldn't scratch Dormammu's power. Satria sighed and nodded. Unfortunately, Fatalis is right. Dormammu is on another level. But outside his realm, his power is significantly weakened. He won't launch an invasion anytime soon. For now, we're safe. The room exhaled collectively, though the tension lingered. But we can't let our guard down, Satria continued, his tone firm. We need to prepare for whatever's coming. I'll train harder and figure out what's going on with this system and the connection to Dormammu. Still, he couldn't help but grumble inwardly. I just wanted to laze around for once. Why does it always have to be like this? The newcomers stood imposingly, their presence making the air heavier. Leading them was Viper, her green suit accentuating her serpent-like allure. Beside her stood the Kraken, a towering figure known for his unmatched strength, Dakin, Logan's estranged and vengeful son, and others, Bloodscream, Cyber, and the ever-manic Green Goblin. Logan, Viper purred, stepping forward. Have you finally come to your senses? Join us, and together, we can conquer everything. You don't know when to quit, do you? Logan growled, his claws extending. Let our people go, or I'll tear this whole base down. How terrifying, Viper chuckled, unsheathing her blade. Spare me your threats, old man, Dakin sneered, a wicked smile on his lips. Today's the day you'll finally realize how pathetic you really are. Kraken cracked his knuckles. Enough talk. Let's end this. I've got bigger fish to fry. Still salty about that owl guy who beat you? Dakin mocked, earning a glare from Kraken that could shatter steel. Laura, undeterred by the tension, charged straight at Kraken. I've got this. I'll take him down myself. Wait, you idiot. He's out of your league. Logan shouted, but it was too late. Kraken's massive fist collided with Laura's midsection, sending her flying into a wall. Vampire, Kraken commanded, pointing at Laura. She's yours. Handle her carefully, she's got Logan's healing factor. Bloodscream smirked, licking his blade. With pleasure. Let's see how much of her I can bleed before she stops regenerating. Hydra reinforcements poured into the room, surrounding the X-Men. Any plans, Logan? Spider-Woman asked, her voice tinged with frustration. Yet, Logan grumbled, his claws glinting under the harsh lights. Brace for the worst. Meanwhile, Laura struggled to her feet, her injuries still knitting themselves back together. Damn! He's strong. How can that clown in the owl costume beat him like ordinary hoodlums? Bloodscream closed in, his crimson eyes glinting with malice. What's wrong, little cub? Regeneration not fast enough? Don't worry, I'll peel your skin nice and slow. Laura tensed, her claws ready despite her injuries. Just as Bloodscream raised his blade, a gunshot echoed through the room. The vampire hissed in pain, clutching his wounded arm. Who dares? Bloodscream bellowed, scanning the room. From the shadows emerged a dashing figure in Victorian attire. He walked with an air of confidence, blood pooling at his feet from the Hydra soldiers he had dispatched. Are you all right? He asked Laura with a charming smile. Why yet? I'm fine, Laura stammered, blushing slightly. Thank you. Spider-Woman, watching from the side, couldn't believe her ears. Laura? Thanking someone? Logan, did you hear that? Logan scowled. That brat doesn't even thank me when I save her ass every day. Focus, you two, Yukio snapped. We've still got enemies to deal with. Suddenly, a chilling voice echoed through the room, reciting an incantation. I am the bone of my sword. The air grew heavy, an otherworldly energy pulsing through the space. Kalidbulg. A spiraling projectile tore through the Hydra defenses, ripping apart the reinforcements in an explosive display of power. The Hydra soldiers screamed in terror as chaos erupted. What is happening? Viper demanded, her confident demeanor faltering. Emerging from the smoke was a man in a samurai-inspired Spider-Man costume, accompanied by a red-haired girl. Sorry we're late, he said casually, spinning a blade in his hand. The Green Goblin's eyes narrowed. You? So it's you? Hey, Green Goblin, the samurai-clad Spider-Man said with a smirk. Your not-so-friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is here. To be continued. Chapter 94, Chapter 77. Mine once and forever. Hydra Base, Madripur. In the heart of Hydra's hidden fortress, a dimly lit control room thrummed with activity. Screens lined the walls, displaying chaotic battles between Hydra's forces and Wolverine's ragtag team. Seated at the center of the room was a figure who radiated menace. The man with the crimson skull, dressed in a Nazi uniform adorned with Hydra's emblem, leaned back in his chair, flanked by his elite guards. He watched the screens with a cold, calculating gaze. What a futile effort, Red Skull sneered. They persist, yet they will never topple us. Such meaningless defiance, don't you agree? His words were directed at a figure crucified on a steel X-frame, hanging limply yet somehow still animated. The prisoner, clad in tattered red spandex, groaned dramatically. Oh, for fuck's sake, my spine. And my pride. You Nazis really have a flair for theatrics, don't you? Deadpool spat, earning a vicious punch to the ribs from a nearby guard. Such insolence, Red Skull growled. Yet your regenerative abilities intrigue me. I shall dissect you personally and bestow your gift upon my armies. With it, Hydra shall rise to rule the world once more. Hail Hydra, his soldiers roared in unison. Deadpool rolled his eyes. Yet, heil this, heil that. But seriously, can I get a bathroom break? Or are you just waiting for me to leak all over your floor? Another blow landed, silencing his quips for the moment. Oh fuck. It's hurt asshole. You're not gonna have it easy to do this on Marvel Jesus. The man with red spandex keeps swearing and receives a beating from the guard. Suddenly, the sound of gunfire erupted outside the control room, growing louder with each passing second. Red Skull's eyes narrowed. What's happening out there? Before anyone could respond, the reinforced door exploded inward, shards of metal scattering like confetti. Smoke filled the room as a lone figure emerged, moving through the haze with unsettling calm. Say hello to my boomstick, the intruder declared, his voice dripping with mockery. Satria stepped into the light, his white hair glowing like a beacon against the darkness. His crimson coat billowed as he strolled toward the Hydra soldiers. Kill him! Red Skull barked. The room erupted in chaos. Bullets flew, but Satria moved faster, weaving through the hail of fire. With a flick of his wrist, he caught the bullets mid-air, their gleaming casings shimmering in his hand. Boring, he muttered, before tossing the projectiles back, each one striking its target with lethal precision. One soldier remained, trembling as Satria approached. The intruder raised his hand, summoning an inky black vortex that howled with tortured screams. Soul Eater! The guard's soul was ripped from his body, dragged into the abyss with a blood-curdling wail. Deadpool, still bound, watched in awe. Okay, that was hot. I mean, terrifying. But mostly hot. Satria ignored him and turned to the last surviving Hydra, now trembling at his feet. Who are you? What do you want? The last man standing is cautious of the enemy in front of him, and when he wants to strike him, Satria without effort puts his enemy off balance and grabs his body before throwing him to the ground. I am your honored guest who kinda loses here and is interested to know more about this group of yours. How about you guide me and tell me your story, brother? Satria smiled innocently at him and locked his movement. You'll get nothing from me, the Red Skull stammered. Satria sighed. Wrong answer. Placing his hand on the man's head, Satria unleashed a wave of dark energy. The Red Skull body convulsed as his mind was dragged into a fabricated hell, a dimension of endless torment. He watched impassively as the trembling Hydra leader off to his knees, his once defiant bravado now reduced to a quivering shadow. The dark energy of Reality Rift, his newest skill, still clung faintly to the air. The ability to pull souls into a dimension of pure torment was proving quite effective. Welcome back, Satria said nonchalantly, exhaling a puff of smoke from his cigarette. It's only been 2 minutes, for God's sake. Don't be such a drama queen. Now, how about we skip the hysterics? Just tell me what I want to know, and everyone walks away happy. Or, would you like another vacation? The Hydra leader's wide, terrified eyes darted around the room before he shook his head violently. No. Please, not again. I beg of you, he cried, his voice cracking. To him, this man wasn't human. He was a nightmare given form. Satria leaned forward slightly, his voice dropping to a low, almost conversational tone. Good. First question, who's orchestrating this operation? From Hydra's side and Japan's side. You two were best buddies back in World War II, right? He switched seamlessly to German, his tone polite but cold. The man swallowed hard, his fear overtaking his loyalty. The leader, is me. I am Red Skull. As for Japan, they have many hidden hands within their government. They are preparing for the next world war in secret. He hesitated but continued under Satria's unrelenting gaze. There's another player. A group called the League of Villains, led by someone named All for One. He reached out to us, proposing a collaboration. Together, we are working to mass-produce super soldiers. In this age of superpowers, governments are desperate to strengthen their defenses. The peace you see now is fleeting. Chaos is inevitable. The era of war will return. Satria raised an eyebrow, exhaling another plume of smoke. And this grand plan of yours? World domination. Red Skull's voice grew resolute, almost proud. The nations of the earth must unite under a single banner, our banner. We must stand as one against the true threat, one that lies beyond this planet. Satria regarded him silently, his expression unreadable. After a long pause, he chuckled softly. You Nazis really don't know when to quit, do you? Always scheming, always reaching for that same tired dream of ruling the world. But I have to admit, you're not entirely wrong. Red Skull perked up slightly, sensing an opportunity. The threat from beyond is real, Satria continued. If humanity doesn't unite, extinction is inevitable. But the kind of unity you propose? That's not unity, it's tyranny. He leaned back in his chair, his gaze distant as if lost in thought. A world united sounded idyllic, but the reality was far more complicated. Centuries of division, greed, racism, and mistrust couldn't be solved with speeches or flags. To create a unified world, someone would need absolute power, the ability to perform miracles, and the will to enforce obedience. Join me, Red Skull said, his voice smooth and persuasive. With your power, we can bring order to this world. Together, we will triumph. I can tell. You are destined for greatness. Satria's eyes sharpened, his contemplative expression vanishing. In a blur, he stepped onto Red Skull's head, pressing the villain's face into the cold floor. Rule the world, he said, smirking as he lit another cigarette. It sounds wonderful, but tiresome. He took a slow drag. letting the smoke curl around him. And honestly, I can't stand paperwork. Red Skull grunted in pain, but Satria ignored him, tapping the ash from his cigarette. I don't have a personal grudge against you, but you've caused more suffering than anyone deserves to. So, tell me. He exhaled smoke lazily. What should I do with you? Before Red Skull could respond, a loud voice cut through the tension. Hey, handsome McBroody! Deadpool called out, breaking the tension. Satria turned to the crucified man. Who the hell are you? Deadpool, at your service. And may I say, that whole dark and brooding savior thing you've got going. Chef's kiss. Satria grimaced. Why is everyone I meet either insane or insufferable? Deadpool grinned. It's called charm, sweetheart. Now, be a good knight in shining armor and get me down from here, yeah? I'd repay you, with good stuff, handsome. Ew. Satria took a step back. Stay away from me, weirdo. On the open sea, a cruise ship glided gracefully under the rising sun. At the helm stood a couple, basking in the serene beauty of the morning. Satria gently helped Valyana step up onto the railing, steadying her with a firm grip as she closed her eyes. The salty sea breeze tousled her hair, and the golden light painted the ocean in shimmering hues. For a moment, time seemed to stand still as their bond deepened. When Valyana opened her eyes, her breath hitched at the sight before her. The endless blue ocean stretched out, its gentle waves reflecting the soft light of dawn. I never knew the sea could be this beautiful, she murmured, her voice tinged with wonder. For someone who had explored countless corners of the world, this moment felt uniquely special. So, it's true, she thought with a soft smile. In life, it's not about where you go, but who you travel with. I'm so happy to be here with him. She wore a choir-style dress, its elegant mix of blue and white perfectly complementing her radiant features. Satria watched her, his heart swelling with emotion. My God, she's stunning. How did I get so lucky? Moments like this, they feel like a miracle. The sight reminded him of a classic film scene, and he couldn't help but grin. This is straight out of Titanic. I need to memorialize this moment. Valyana tilted her head, noticing his expression. What's wrong, hubby? You look like you've seen a ghost, she teased. Nothing, Satria replied smoothly, his lips curving into a flirtatious smile. As the ocean is never full of water, so is my heart, especially when I see how lovely you are right now, my princess. Valyana giggled, a faint blush dusting her cheeks. Hubby, you're such a charmer as always. How about we add one more day and enjoy ourselves to the fullest? Her tone dropped, becoming playfully sultry. Satria's eyebrows shot up. One more day? You can't be serious. We've already spent 2 straight days in our room, you naughty girl. Valyana leaned closer, her eyes sparkling mischievously. This bad girl still wants more punishment from you, Daddy. Honestly, last night's bondage play was amazing. Just thinking about it is enough to make me. Valyana. Satria cut her off, his face heating up as he caught the wicked glint in her eyes. She chuckled, leaning against him. What? You're the one who started it, hubby. Don't act so innocent now. In the recesses of Valyana's mind, Albion groaned loudly. Ugh, not this again. Wake me up when you're done with your shenanigans. The white dragon's voice was laced with annoyance. Valyana ignored him, focused entirely on Satria, who was now pressing even closer. Wait a second, he said abruptly, scooping her into his arms. I need to check something first. Before Valyana could protest, Satria carried her back to their room. Once inside, he placed her gently on the bed, grabbed his device, and opened the private chat in the dimensional chat. Really, hubby? You'd rather stare at an invisible screen than me right now? Valyana pouted, crossing her arms. Satria smirked but didn't answer, his eyes glued to the messages. ___. Shin changed his nickname to Bangsat. Dimensional private chat log. Bangsat, 2 when are you guys going back to the DXD world? Have you forgotten we need to return Konako to the Gremory household within a month? Bangsat, 1 damn it. I totally forgot about that. Now what? Bangsat, 3 behold me and my white dragon princess on a cruise trip. Don't we look just like Jack and Rose from Titanic? Bangsat uploads a video of himself and Valyana reenacting the iconic Titanic scene at the helm of the ship. Bangsat, 1 who the hell gave you permission to take a vacation with my princess, you dog? That should have been me. Bangsat, 50, please. You've already spent time with Kiyohime, Fatalis, Konako, and even our pet. Meanwhile, I'm stuck dealing with the chaos on this criminal island and never complained. Bangsat, 1 what about Fran? Is she doing okay? Bangsat, 4 Tiba socket parrot nih, Ijan kwc bentarya gan, nanti login logi. Translation, ouch. My stomach suddenly hurts. BRB, heading to the toilet. Bangsat, 1 how the hell can you get a stomach ache, you stupid clown? Bangsat, 5 something definitely happens there. Bangsat, 1 figures. In the end, I'll be the one who gets blamed. Can't any of you idiots work properly for once? Bangsat, 2 you're the real idiot here. Handle your own mess. You're the one who created all this trouble as Dark Flash. My head hurts just thinking about this, and to make it worse, no one's here to help me. Bangsat, 1 geez, it's a simple issue. Stop whining like a spoiled brat. Just say Dark Flash planning an evil scheme or something. Problem solved. Bangsat, 2 this is why progress in our country is so slow, people like you. All talk, no solutions, and always lazing around. Bangsat, 1 why are you taking this out on me? Whatever. I'm going to go build Gundams with Fatalis. Later, loser. Bangsat, 2 good riddance. We don't need you here, idiot. Bangsat, 5 Genie a mat hijab pensive face. __. Valyana tilted her head curiously. What's going on now? Satria sighed, closing the chat. The original forgot he needs to return Konako to Gremory. What about you? Aren't your Chaos Brigade friends looking for you? You've been missing for 3 weeks now. Valyana shrugged dismissively, leaning closer. Who cares? I do what I want. None of those idiots can control me because I'm the White Dragon Emperor. Besides, I have more important things to do right now. Before Satria could react, Valyana smirked and began stripping off his shirt. She climbed on top of him with a gleam of mischief in her eyes. This early in the morning. Satria blinked. At this rate, you might actually know. Valyana's smirk turned wicked. I don't care. You're going to take responsibility if that happens, right? Satria chuckled, his gaze softening. Of course. From the moment you become mine, I've been ready for anything, including that. Good, Valyana purred, wrapping her arms around him. Then nothing's stopping me now. Relax and enjoy, Daddy. Savage Land. The roar of the battle reverberated through the dense, humid jungle. Grr. Fran clashed with the enormous crocodilian kaiju, its massive tail smashing through trees while its jaws snapped with thunderous force. Despite her and Baban's coordination, the beast's raw strength and cunning kept them on the defensive. This mode depletes your mana very fast, Fran. You need to finish this quickly. Baban reminded her urgently. Fran nodded. She was aware. Absolution, her current state, burned through her mana reserves like wildfire. It pushed her body to its absolute limits, boosting speed, strength, and metabolic output to dangerous levels. It was her trump card against physically superior foes but came with the risk of rapid exhaustion. I know, Master. I'll end this now. Fran's eyes sharpened, her determination solidifying. She kicked off the ground with a powerful leap, wind magic swirling around her. Moonwalk. The air rippled beneath her feet as she propelled herself toward the kaiju's head. Her blade glowed ominously as she prepared her next move. Dragon Tail. The sword extended, its aura slicing through everything in a 1 kilometer radius as it hurtled toward the beast. But the kaiju wasn't just strong, it was smart. Sensing danger, it swiftly dug into the earth, vanishing underground just in time to avoid the devastating strike. TCH, clever bastard. Fran muttered, landing on her feet. This one's no fool. Use your observation skill, Fran. Baban instructed. Fran activated her skill, her senses sharpening. She felt the vibrations beneath her feet. The beast was circling her, preparing a sneak attack. There! With a deafening roar, the kaiju burst from the ground behind her, its gaping maw aiming to swallow her whole. Gleipnir. Fran summoned the legendary chain of unbreakable bindings. The golden chains shot out, wrapping around the beast's massive body and pulling it to the ground. Gray. The kaiju thrashed violently, roaring in fury, but the enchanted chains held firm. Finish him, my champion, let's plague all of our enemies. Fran leaped onto the kaiju's head, placing her hand on its scaly surface. Her voice was calm, almost chilling. Scarlet bloom. A crimson glow spread from her palm, enveloping the kaiju. Scarlet markings crawled across its entire body like a blooming plague. The kaiju let out a bone-chilling screech as its body convulsed in agony. Within moments, it collapsed, lifeless, the scarlet marks pulsating eerily as they faded away. Fran stood silently, catching her breath. Baban, however, was anything but calm. Fran? What was that? What kind of magic did you just use? I couldn't identify it. Fran didn't respond, her expression conflicted. Far away, the real Satria had been observing the battle through a dimensional projection. His eyes widened when he recognized the crimson aura. Without hesitation, he activated his speed abilities, reaching the savage land in an instant. Fran. Satria's voice was filled with both concern and disbelief. Don't tell me. Is that the scarlet rot? How? Fran flinched at his words, guilt washing over her. She lowered her gaze. On a certain night, a woman appeared in my dream. She claimed to be an outer goddess and offered me power in exchange for entertaining her. I wanted to be strong, my lord. I wanted to be useful to you. Satria clenched his fists. What did it cost you? Don't tell me she gave you power for free. That's impossible. Fran hesitated before replying softly, I didn't have to pay anything, yet. But there's a way to safely control this power. The dimensional chat has resources to handle the scarlet rot without harming my body. Trust me, my lord. I can manage this. Satria's eyes narrowed. Let me check you first. He placed his hand on her shoulder, scanning her body with his abilities. After a moment, he sighed in relief. Thank the gods, there's no trace of rot in your body. But Fran. His tone hardened. You are never to use that power unless there's no other choice. Do you understand? I don't want to lose you. Fran's eyes softened as she nodded. Yes, my lord. I understand. Satria smiled, patting her head. Good girl. You passed the test. I'm proud of you. Fran's face lit up with joy at his praise. Now, let's go home and eat. I made a special curry that you are going to love. Really? Yay! Curry Fran cheered, skipping beside him happily. Satria turned to his clone, his expression darkening. Clean this mess. Don't let the rot spread. The clone nodded silently and began purging the battlefield. Guest house. Where do you think Danasama went? It's rare for him to dash off without a word, Kiyohime asked, her tone laced with concern as she glanced at her sister wives. Fatalis, completely absorbed in her task, was surrounded by tools and parts scattered across the floor. She focused intensely on the final adjustments to her Gundam model. Wait, just a little more. Yes. Finally. My very own Gundam is complete. Ha ha ha. What's up, Kiyohime? Do you need something from the amazing me? Fatalis asked, triumphantly holding up her creation. Kiyohime's patience snapped. With her folding fan, she smacked Fatalis on the head. Ouch! What did I do? Fatalis yelped, rubbing the sore spot. Don't ignore someone when they're speaking to you, Kiyohime scolded. Okay, I'm sorry. As for Satria, Fatalis shrugged. When he takes off like that, it usually means something serious is happening. He'll be back soon, don't worry. Kiyohime frowned, still unconvinced. But what if it's dangerous? What if he needs help? Fatalis sighed. You worry too much. He's fine. Anyway, how's your practice going with his death? That tiger ring Satria gave you, you hit the jackpot with that gift. Kiyohime's expression becomes serious. That woman is terrifying. I can't believe humans like her exist. Training with her is like fighting a demon lord. Fatalis smirked. She is ridiculously strong. Honestly, I pity the people in her world. With the dimensional chat, she's only going to get stronger. Fascinating, isn't it? Before Kiyohime could reply, golden lightning streaked into the house. In a flash, Satria appeared, cradling Fran in his arms. Where are we? Fran asked, her eyes darting around the elegant room. It was far more luxurious than anything she'd seen before. I rented this guest house for us while we were in this world, Satria explained. I prefer having our own space rather than staying in someone else's home. It's more comfortable, and we won't bother anyone. If you want to stay in Naruto's house, feel free to. Fran immediately clung to him. No. I want to stay here with you. Aira, welcome home, Fran-chan, Fatalis greeted warmly. Kiyohime moved closer to Satria, her sharp senses picking up on something unusual. His heart was racing, and his blood pressure was elevated. Something must have happened to make Danasama this distressed, she thought. Care to share what's going on? Fatalis asked, her tone turning serious. Satria sighed. Scarlet rot. Fatalis stiffened, instantly understanding the gravity of his words. Scarlet rot. Kiyohime looked between them, confused. What is that? Baban chimed in, equally clueless. Yet, even the system couldn't explain it. What's going on? Fatalis crossed her arms. The scarlet rot is both a blessing and a curse, bestowed by an outer god. It's a powerful affliction that can even drive gods insane before killing them. The real danger, however, lies in its ability to infect anything it touches, spreading like a plague. It's not something to take lightly. Kiyohime's eyes widened. Fran, you have this power? Can you control it? Danasama, what are you going to do about this? Baban's voice was tinged with fear. And what about the monster she killed? If Fatalis-san's explanation is correct. I've already handled that, Satria reassured them. Fran is healthy, and my clone is studying the rot in a controlled environment off-planet. I'm also working on a cure, just in case. Fran's ears drooped as she looked down, her voice trembling. I'm so sorry. Because of me, everyone's in trouble. I just wanted to be strong. I didn't mean for this to happen. The room fell silent as everyone looked at Satria, silently urging him to comfort her. Good grief, he thought, stepping closer to Fran. He gently pulled her into his lap. Fran? Look at me. She stopped sobbing and lifted her gaze, her big eyes filled with guilt. Remember what I told you before? Satria said softly. We're family. And family helps each other, no matter how difficult the problem. There's always a solution, and we'll find it together. You, me, and everyone else. Fran's eyes glistened with unshed tears as she leaned into his chest. Thank you, beloved. I've always known you were my destined one. Now and forever. Beloved. This stupid Lilicon. Kia Him's temper flared, but Fatalis quickly stepped in, holding her back. Let them have their moment, Kia Him-chan. They're so cute right now. Fatalis discreetly snapped a picture with her phone, grinning mischievously. Kiyohime huffed. Fine. Just this once. Satria, sensing the tension, smiled and announced, now that everything's settled, let's celebrate Fran passing her test. I'm making curry tonight, with my special recipe. He turned to Baban. You're helping. Try to keep up, or I'll kick you out of my kitchen. Ha! What you can do, I can do better. Watch and learn from the real pro. Baban retorted, determined not to be outdone. Yay! I want extra spicy curry, dear. Fatalis cheered, practically drooling at the thought. Kiyohime sighed, shaking her head. They're like children. Fran smiled, warmth filling her heart. For the first time in her life, she felt like she had a home, a family. She silently vowed to protect it with everything she had. To be continued. Chapter 95, Chapter 78. Solutions. Hydra Base. The scene was tense as the group noticed Spider-Man arrive with an unfamiliar figure. The group's reactions were mixed, their gazes flickering between curiosity and suspicion. Isn't that the brat with the spider costume from New York? What's he doing in a place like this? Yukio muttered, arms crossed. Spider-Woman tilted her head, examining Peter's upgraded suit. His costume's different from what I've seen on the news. Gotta say, it's an improvement. Did that explosion earlier have anything to do with him? Logan, never one for subtlety, growled, What are you doing here, bub? Who called you in? This ain't the Avengers' business. Peter leapt down gracefully, carrying Beoponsith in his arms like a noble knight rescuing his princess. As they landed in front of Logan, Peter gently set her down, his every movement careful and precise. Thank you, my hero, Beopon said, her voice regal and refined. She placed a light kiss on his cheek, her ethereal beauty and graceful demeanor leaving several of the men present visibly envious. Peter grinned behind his mask. It's my job to satisfy my lady. Relax, buddy, no one called me in. I'm here on my own to free the people trapped in this facility. How do I know about this place? Let's just say it's a secret for now. But hey, our goals align, so why not team up? Logan narrowed his eyes, suspicious but not entirely dismissive. You're hiding something, kid. But, you don't feel like a threat. Spider-Woman clapped Logan on the shoulder, grinning. Lighten up, Logan. If the famous Spider-Man wants to help, let him. Besides, from what I've heard, the kid's good at what he does. Yukio wasn't as forgiving. Fine, but don't slow us down. If you're a liability, I won't hesitate to leave you behind, she said sharply. Beoponsith bristled at Yukio's harsh words, but Peter gently touched her shoulder, shaking his head. His silent gesture calmed her, though her sharp gaze lingered on Yukio. Kraken observed the scene, his expression cold. Who is this new nuisance? What do we know about this insect and his companion? Peter, overhearing through a hidden mic, muttered, rude. Spiders aren't insects, we're arachnids. Viper stepped forward, giving Kraken a curt nod. Spider-Man is a hero from New York. While he often clashes with criminals, he's little more than a naive boy with no formal combat training. However, his super strength and spider-like abilities make him a formidable opponent. As for his companion, I have no information. Leave the insect to me. A twisted laugh echoed through the room as Green Goblin stepped forward. No need. He's mine. I've waited too long for this chance to crush him. Without warning, the Green Goblin charged on his glider, hurling a barrage of pumpkin bombs directly at Peter. Bomb! Logan barked, immediately preparing to retreat with the group. But Beoponsith stepped forward, her voice calm and unwavering. Stay! My darling can handle this. Yukio's eyes widened in disbelief. What? Are you crazy? He's just standing there, doing weird hand movements. Spider-Woman hesitated, then smirked. Well, if we die, I'm haunting you, princess. Let's see what your darling can do. Peter smiled beneath his mask as he began his chant, his voice steady and confident. I am the bone of my sword. In an instant, a massive crimson flower-shaped barrier materialized before him, shimmering like a protective bloom. Roaias. The pumpkin bombs collided with the barrier, their explosive force completely nullified. Not a single blast reached the group. What the hell? Yukio muttered, her tough demeanor cracking as awe flickered across her face. On the other side, the Green Goblin stared in disbelief. Impossible. My bomb's blocked? He's never had this kind of power before. What is that flower-shaped shield? Peter stood tall, his voice cutting through the smoke. You underestimated me, Gobby. I'm not the same Spider-Man you've faced before. Let's settle this. Beoponsith watched her fiancé with a proud smile, her confidence in him unwavering. See? I told you he could handle it. Spider-Woman tilted her head, her curiosity piqued as she studied the crimson shield that Peter summoned. Hey? Since when do spider powers include barriers like that? Or, is this some new tech, like Stark's armor? But I didn't see him activate any gadgets. Her analytical mind buzzed with questions, her interest in Spider-Man's true power growing with each passing moment. Logan crossed his arms and grunted. At least you're useful, kid. Not like some stupid brats I know. It was as close to a compliment as Wolverine ever gave. Viper, meanwhile, kept a close eye on Peter, her mind racing as she analyzed the situation. A barrier like that, it doesn't match any technology I've encountered. There were no devices or visible triggers when he activated it. Could it be something else? Magic? No. That's absurd. Damn it, another unknown factor added to the equation. I'll have to keep tabs on him. In another part of the base, Laura was seething as she eavesdropped on Logan's remarks. Grrrrrrrrr. That shitty old man. How dare he call me a stupid brat, she growled, pacing back and forth. Her claws twitched, betraying her irritation. Kurumi, who had been quietly observing, let out a soft laugh, her crimson eyes glinting with amusement. Laura snapped her head toward her. And what's so funny? You think I'm a joke too, hey? Kurumi smirked. No, I find it adorable, that's all. Like watching a kitten bristle at its reflection. Laura's face flushed with frustration. Damn it. Now he's laughing at me too. Great, now this guy probably thinks I'm some hot-headed problem child who can't handle herself. Curse that old man for embarrassing me like this. Her inner turmoil was interrupted as a booming voice echoed across the chamber. You will pay. To dare put your dirty hands on one of pure blood like me. Bloodscream, fuming with rage, charged forward, flanked by a group of Hydra soldiers. His pale skin seemed to glow under the dim lights, and his eyes burned with crimson fury. Kurumi stepped forward, her confidence unwavering as she regarded Laura. Hey, you! Can you fight? Laura's claws extended with a sharp snick. She smirked. Of course, I can. Who do you think I am? Let's go, assholes. Without hesitation, she lunged toward the Hydra soldiers, moving like a whirlwind of rage and claws. Kurumi chuckled softly. Such spirit. A fiery kitten, indeed. Her focus shifted to Bloodscream, who now loomed before her. His twisted grin and bloodlust radiated malice, but Kurumi remained calm, her smirk matching his. So, you're the real vampire, she taunted, tilting her head. Honestly, you don't look half as scary as I imagined. Even my pet puppy is more intimidating than you. Bloodscream snarled, his voice dripping with venom. Talk all you like, half-breed. Your very existence sullies the purity of our kind. But before I end your miserable life, tell me your name. I want to know the identity of the one I'll destroy. Kurumi's sinister smile widened, her crimson eyes glowing ominously. Oh? You want my name? How quaint. Very well, I'll humor you, just this once. She stepped forward, her presence suddenly oppressive, the air around her growing cold. Her voice dropped, laced with malice and delight. I am what they call a nightmare. The one who will remind you of your mortality. You? The infamous nightmare. Bloodscream's confidence faltered for a split second, sensing the overwhelming aura emanating from her. He snarled to mask his unease and lunged at Kurumi. Kurumi, still smiling, raised her musket and whispered. Let's dance. Hydra Base, Control Room. Satria reclined in his chair, casually munching on potato chips while sipping a glass of fine wine from Red Skull's exclusive collection. The control room was dimly lit, with screens displaying the ongoing battles outside. Satria swirled the glass elegantly, inhaling the wine's rich aroma before taking a sip. You've got quite the collection here, Skullface, he said, raising the glass appreciatively. This wine, what year is it from? Before Red Skull could answer, Deadpool tried to snatch the bottle. In one swift motion, Satria landed a solid punch, sending the mercenary flying across the room. Oi, Deadpool! Hands off my wine! Aqua and Kazuma would be so jealous if they knew I had this. Deadpool groaned, sitting up and rubbing his head. Come on, just a sip, Mr. Fancy Pants. It's not every day I see wine this expensive. My poor heart is breaking over here. Have some pity on a guy who can't even taste luxury most of the time. Red Skull cleared his throat, trying to regain control of the conversation. That's my collection, shipwrecked 1907 hide-seek. Salvaged from a shipwreck during World War I. It's one of the rarest wines in the world. Satria's eyes lit up with delight. Oh, wow! Don't mind if I take a few bottles home, do you? Red Skull, his expression tense, hesitated before replying. Take all you want, just as long as you spare me. Satria laughed heartily. Sure thing, Skullface, as long as you keep me entertained. Now. He glanced at the screens. Hey, what are those guys doing over there? Don't lie to me, Skullface, or there'll be consequences. The screens showed Hydra scientists performing a gruesome procedure. An unconscious man was being dissected, his brain carefully removed and placed into a robotic capsule. Red Skull shifted nervously but forced a proud smirk. Ah, you've noticed one of our masterpieces. This is the Machine Man project, a culmination of German scientific brilliance. By merging human intelligence with mechanical obedience, we create the ultimate soldier. And by using mutant brains. He gestured dramatically toward the screen. We gain their abilities, empowering our creations beyond imagination. Satria leaned back, unimpressed. You guys are crazy and brilliant at the same time. Seriously, who even thinks of this stuff? Is it working, though? Or are these just the ramblings of a madman? Of course it works. Red Skull snapped, puffing out his chest. German science is unmatched. This is but a glimpse of our intellect and ingenuity. Join us, and we shall prosper together. He raised his arm in a salute, his face glowing with misplaced pride. Deadpool leaned closer to Satria and whispered, "Uncle Deadpool says no. Don't be associated with the lunatic cult, Mr. White." Satria chuckled, shaking his head. "You remind me of someone I know, Skullface." He turned back to the screen, opening the chat app on his phone to broadcast the Hydra secret to his group chat. ___ Group chat. Bang sat, "Hey, everyone. Hear all that? What do you think? Aestheth, Stylish would probably get along with that lunatic. King of Knights, such a vile man doesn't deserve a quick death. God of Hope, on my way. Don't screw this up, brat. Robin, you're probably right. Some people are beyond saving. Cookies Maniac, that's wrong. You're supposed to be a hero, Robin. Killing isn't the answer. We're no better than them if we stoop to their level. Bang sat, Ara our little Rose is so wise. But don't stress yourselves over this stuff. Leave it to us. Kids your age should be enjoying your youth. Kazuma-sama, excuse me? Ara is exclusively for hot older women, not you. And what's with that stupid new nickname? Bang sat, my nickname literally means the coolest guy in the world. Ask Fran if you don't believe me. Smirking face. Kazuma-sama, sure, it totally doesn't mean something inappropriate in your language. Narcissist. Black Cat, no, he's not the coolest guy. He's more like, the cutest. Cat face. Kazuma-sama, ha. Even Fran doesn't agree with you. Bang sat, I thought we had something special, Fran. Crying face. Robin, wait, isn't that nickname a slur? Seriously, change it. Bad influence much. Bang sat, it's part of my real name. Anyway, anyone want rare wine? This baby is over 100 years old and tastes amazing. Only a few people in the world can get it. Bang sat uploaded a picture of the wine. Kazuma-sama, I need it. Please, Satria-sama. Loudly crying face. Aestheth, send me one. I need a good drink after this stupid paperwork. Pervert sage, it looks exquisite. Maybe I can use it to charm Tsunade Heim. Bang sat gifted bottles to Kazuma-sama, Aestheth, and Pervert Sage. Kazuma-sama, you're the best, Bang sat-sama. I always knew it. Aestheth, smells good. You weren't exaggerating. Pervert Sage, perfect. This might just work with Tsunade Heim. Cheers, Satria-kun. Red Skull seized the moment as Satria's focus wandered. With trembling hands, he discreetly drew a Luger pistol from his jacket, aiming it at the back of Satria's neck. This is it. Die, you monster! He pulled the trigger. The bullet was halted mid-air by a radiant golden barrier, dissipating harmlessly. Without turning, Satria spoke, his tone calm yet chilling. Do you think I'd leave my back unguarded? How naive! The nape of one's neck any creature's greatest blind spot. Still. He slowly stood, brushing non-existent dust from his jacket. I applaud your bravery, Skullface. Even after everything you've endured, you still find the nerve to defy me. The air grew heavy as Satria approached. What? What are you? Stay back. Red Skull, a man who feared nothing, felt a dread claw at his chest. Mess. Satria's hand shot forward in a precise grasping motion, striking Red Skull's chest. Moments later, the Hydra leader's heart was wrenched from his body, still beating. The grotesque sight froze Red Skull in place. He gasped, clutching his chest. How am I still alive? Give it back. My heart return it. Satria smirked, holding the pulsing organ aloft like a toy. What should I do with this, HMM? No please. With a dismissive chuckle, Satria clenched his fist, crushing the heart. Red Skull collapsed, unconscious. Deadpool clapped enthusiastically. Bravo! You just handled him like he was some random street thug. I'm impressed, buddy. So, what do you say? You, me, and Wolverine, the three musketeers. Shut it, idiot. Satria turned, exuding authority. Make yourself useful and carry him. We've got places to be. Deadpool mock saluted. Aye, Captain Heartbreaker. Satria deactivated the Hydra base's security systems with a flick of his wrist, preparing for the next destination. The battlefield echoed with chaos and gunfire. Kurumi stood amidst the carnage, her sinister smile illuminated by the muzzle flashes of her flintlock pistol and musket. Ha ha ha! More! Give me more fun, she cackled, reloading with unnatural speed as her bullets rained down on the Hydra soldiers. Gwa! What the hell? He's not going down. His regeneration, it's insane. Call for backup. Fools! Blood Scream cut down his own men without hesitation, their lifeless bodies crumpling at his feet. He leaned over their corpses, drinking deeply of their blood. His wounds began to close, his body regenerating with terrifying efficiency. Kurumi watched, unfazed, and mocked him with a sarcastic tone. Era! How cruel! Sacrificing your own comrades for such selfish gain. They were dead weight, Blood Scream growled. Unlike me, they were useless. And you? He raised his blade, pointing it at her. You'll be dead soon enough. Pathetic, Kurumi muttered, her tone dripping with disdain. Blood Scream lunged, slashing with supernatural speed. Kurumi danced away, firing round after round at him, her movements fluid and precise. Their battle raged on, bullets against blade. But as the minutes dragged on, Blood Scream finally landed a deep slash across Kurumi's torso. Blood dripped from her wound, staining her suit. Is that all you've got? Blood Scream sneered, licking the blood from his blade. Pathetic. Oi! Are you okay? Laura's voice crackled through Kurumi's earpiece. She was busy fending off Hydra soldiers but couldn't hide her worry. Hold on, I'm coming to help. Kurumi glanced at her wound and smirked. Don't bother, darling. This is just getting fun. She raised her hands, creating a series of intricate gestures. Dozens of crimson eyes opened across the battlefield, glowing with malice. A palpable fear spread among the remaining Hydra soldiers as Kurumi's presence darkened. Let me show you, she purred, her voice dripping with menace, how a real vampire handles things. From her shadow emerged a monstrous black hound, its glowing red eyes and jagged teeth oozing malevolence. Black Hound! The creature lunged, its speed unmatched, tearing into Blood Scream with savage ferocity. Argh! My legs! What are you? Blood Scream screamed as the hound severed both his legs in one brutal bite. Kurumi's smile widened, her head tilting eerily. Oh? Where's all that bravado now? Come on, heal yourself, summon your familiars, transform. Show me more. Her voice rose in excitement. The fun has just begun. Blood Scream, his face pale with terror, could only stammer. Monster. You're a monster. Kurumi let out a soft, sinister laugh. Monster? No, no. You're just dog food. She snapped her fingers, and the black hound pounced again, devouring Blood Scream until nothing remained. Kurumi wiped a stray drop of blood from her cheek, her grin never faltering. How boring. I expected more. Spider-Woman stood frozen, her eyes wide with terror as she watched Kurumi coldly dispatch Blood Scream. The brutal efficiency, the sadistic smile. Kurumi's actions were far removed from what Jessica associated with heroism. Who is he? She whispered, trembling. Such cruelty! Logan, ever the pragmatist, growled as he stepped up beside her. Oi, bub! Is he your friend? Where the fuck do you find someone like him? Peter Parker scratched the back of his head awkwardly, unsure how to respond. Ahem. How do I explain this? His voice trailed off as he muttered under his breath, You're overdoing it, sis Kurumi. Someone please help me. From a distance, Baopan Sith, Kurumi's ally, observed the carnage with an amused smile. Phew. What a beautiful show. As expected of someone I consider a friend. Viper, seeing Baopan distracted, seized her chance and rushed forward, twin poisoned daggers aimed for a lethal strike. What are you looking at? Viper snarled. But Baopan moved like a shadow. Before Viper's blades could reach her, Baopan delivered a devastating kick to her stomach. The force sent Viper staggering back, gasping for air. The situation worsened for Viper as a hidden blade extended from Baopan's shoe, its serrated edge piercing her abdomen. Shit! Viper hissed, clutching her wound. You're trying to kill me for real? I thought a hero associated with Spider-Man wouldn't stoop to this level. Baopan regarded her coldly, her eyes glinting with disdain. Dear! Peter's nervous voice interrupted. How about we not take things too far? Maybe hand her over to the authorities instead. Baopan turned her gaze to Peter, her stare sharp and commanding. Peter sighed, understanding the futility of his suggestion. Well, I tried. Before anyone could react further, a booming voice filled the air. What a pitiful display, Viper. To think you're one of Hydra's elite. A towering figure stepped forward, his metallic armor gleaming under the dim light. It resembled a hornet, menacing and intricate, the mechanical hum of his suit audible. I'll introduce this little princess to the world of pain, he sneered, addressing Baopan. Logan's eyes narrowed as recognition set in. You! How the hell are you still alive, Silas Burr? The man, now calling himself Hornet, smirked. Still holding a grudge, Logan. Before Logan could respond, a sudden sharp pain pierced his chest. He looked down to see an adamantium claw jutting from his torso. Don't turn your back on your enemy, old man. A younger figure sneered as he withdrew the claw, blood dripping from it. Are you getting senile after living so long? Tell me, how does it feel to be stabbed by your own blood? Logan staggered back, glaring at the younger man. You're not my son. You're my failure. With a roar, Logan kicked his attacker away, his wounds beginning to heal. Hornet laughed, enjoying the chaos. Ah, my favorite feral cat. Still nursing that grudge after all these years? To answer your question, let's just say hell favors me. Baopan, unimpressed, stepped forward, her voice cold and regal. Enough. Who are you? I don't waste time on peasants like you. Hornet let out a bark of laughter. Peasant? That's a new one. He mockingly bowed. To make it short, I was once known as Cyber. Now, you can call me Hornet. I used to train bad guys to be worse guys. Not many liked me, especially the ones I trained. One in particular took it very personally. His gaze flicked to Logan. He never understood I was just doing my job. Not that I didn't enjoy it, of course. I loved it. Baopan smirked. Ara, I should have known you were nothing but trash. My apologies for not realizing sooner. Hornet's grin faltered, his pride wounded. You damn woman. I've changed my mind. After I break every bone in your doll-like body, I'll make sure you regret crossing me. Maybe we'll start with... Before he could finish, a blinding flash of light erupted. Peter stepped forward, his voice colder than anyone had ever heard. Did you just threaten her? Hornet barely had time to react before his arm was severed by a searing laser beam from Peter's device. What? Hornet looked down, horrified at the jagged stump where his arm had been. Peter adjusted his device, his voice sharp and analytical. As I suspected, your body's been enhanced with adamantium, making you impervious to physical damage. But after scanning you, I found something worse. His gaze flicked briefly to the Green Goblin. You're no better than him, a pitiful man driven insane by drugs and desperation. Hornet's eyes burned with fury. You? Peter interrupted, his tone unwavering. At first, I considered saving you. But after seeing what you've done here, I've changed my mind. And one last thing. His voice dropped, icy and foreboding. I never let anyone who could harm my family escape from my eyes. With that, a surge of mana erupted around Peter, glowing and crackling with raw power. He began to chant, his voice carrying across the battlefield like a hymn of destruction. I am the bone of my sword. Unknown to death, nor known to life. Unlimited. Blade works. The air shimmered as a radiant, surreal landscape began to unfold around them, a world of infinite swords, their edges gleaming with deadly intent. To be continued. Chapter 96, Side Story, The Clone Conflict. Guardian? What are you doing here? Artemis asked, narrowing her eyes at the armored man blocking their way. I'm the chief of security here, Guardian replied curtly, his posture tense. Artemis frowned. I don't think the Justice League would approve of this arrangement. Before he could respond, the xenomorph perched on his shoulder made its horns glow faintly. Guardian's eyes glazed over for a moment, then he snapped to attention. Get them! Robin didn't hesitate. He threw down a smoke bomb, the room filling with a thick cloud as the team prepared for battle. Kid Flash and Ruby immediately sprang into action, zipping around the room and taking down the xenomorphs in coordinated strikes. Aqualad charged at Guardian, activating his tattoos and delivering an electric shock that stunned him momentarily. Artemis notched several arrows, releasing them in quick succession. They exploded into a sticky, white substance that glued several xenomorphs to the floor. Ice arrow! Amelia called, shooting a frost arrow that froze another group of enemies. She sprinted toward the elevator where Robin was working, deftly covering his back. As the elevator descended, Ruby turned to Robin, her face confused. Down? But the exit is up. Robin barely spared her a glance. Project KR and WG are below us. Aqualad rubbed the back of his neck. Maybe we should call the League. No signal, Artemis replied grimly. We'll need a proper computer to contact them. The elevator doors opened, revealing a sprawling underground tunnel that branched in two directions. We're already here, Kid Flash said, speeding off down one corridor with the others quickly following. Stop, a commanding voice echoed behind them. They turned to see a humanoid xenomorph standing in their path. It wore a white shirt and pants and stared at them with glowing eyes. Without a word, it lifted objects telekinetically and hurled them toward the teens. They were forced to sprint down the opposite hallway, narrowly dodging the debris. They skidded to a stop in front of a massive door labeled Project KR and Project WG. A dark-skinned scientist in glasses emerged, only to be bowled over by Kid Flash, who grabbed a nearby tank to prop the door open. Robin's fingers flew across the console as he accessed the computer. I've disabled the door, he said, but his voice was cut off by Kid Flash's urgent call. Guys! Robin hit a button, illuminating the room. Two glass tubes stood before them, each containing a sleeping teenager. One was a tall, muscular boy with short black hair, wearing a white bodysuit emblazoned with Superman's iconic shield. The other was a girl with shoulder-length black hair, clad in a red suit with Wonder Woman's twin W logo. Artemis stared in disbelief. That's Wonder Woman's logo, and Superman's. What is this? Amelia stepped forward, her eyes filled with concern. Robin Kun, how about we contact the admin of the Dimensional Chat first? We need to make sure nothing will go wrong if we release them. Admin. Artemis raised an eyebrow, confused. What admin? What are you talking about? Aqualad also looked puzzled. Who exactly are we contacting? Yeah, who's him? Kid Flash added, looking from Amelia to Robin. Only Robin and Ruby seemed to understand, but Robin, ignoring their confusion, nodded at Amelia's suggestion. Pulling out a hologram screen only he can see, he connected to the dimensional chat. A brief moment passed before he received a reply. Reading the information on the screen, his expression softened slightly. Okay, Robin said, turning to the group. Here's what we know. These clones were created using DNA from Superman and Wonder Woman. The xenomorphs are force-feeding them information and controlling their actions. They've been treated as tools, nothing more than weapons for Cadmus. But his voice grew firmer. They're more than that. They're sentient, and they deserve a chance to decide for themselves. Amelia frowned, her gentle voice tinged with sadness. Why would anyone do such a thing to their protectors? The hero fight to save lives, and now their own likenesses are being exploited. Ruby, ever the optimist, chimed in. They're people too. They have feelings just like us. We shouldn't judge them just because of how they were created. Let's set them free and give them a chance. She smiled brightly, her eyes sparkling with determination. Robin considered her words before nodding. You're right. They deserve a choice. He moved to the console, his fingers flying over the keys. The team watched in silence as the locks on the tubes released with a hiss. Slowly, the glass doors slid open, and the clones stepped out. Superboy's eyes opened first, his piercing blue gaze scanning the room. Wonder Girl followed, her eyes glowing faintly with a golden hue. Both looked confused but alert, their bodies tense as they took in their surroundings. It's okay, Robin said, stepping forward cautiously. We're not here to hurt you. You're free now. Wonder Girl blinked, her expression softening. Free. Superboy, however, looked suspicious. Why? Why would you help us? Ruby beamed, stepping up beside Robin. Because it's the right thing to do. You're not just some experiment. You're people, just like us. Wonder Girl's tense posture relaxed, her golden eyes glimmering with gratitude. Superboy still seemed hesitant but nodded slowly. You freed us, he said, his voice rough but sincere. Thank you. Robin stepped back, glancing at his team. This isn't over yet. Cadmus won't let them go that easily. Let's move before reinforcements arrive. Amelia placed a reassuring hand on Wonder Girl's shoulder. We'll protect you. You're not alone anymore. As the clones adjusted to their freedom, their expressions quickly turned from gratitude to aggression. Their postures stiffened, and their eyes glowed faintly, controlled by the xenomorph's influence. Suddenly, Superboy lunged forward with a powerful strike, and Wonder Girl followed, her fists glowing with a faint golden hue. Wait! We're here to help! Ruby shouted, flipping her crescent rose into position to block Wonder Girl's punches. The force of the impact sent shockwaves through the room, but Ruby held her ground. I know, Wonder Girl managed to say between strikes, her voice strained. The xenomorphs are forcing us to attack. Ruby barely dodged a punch aimed at her face, somersaulting backward as Wonder Girl pressed forward. Meanwhile, Superboy overpowered Aqualad, sending him sprawling to the ground. Ruby! Amelia cried out as Ruby tried to parry another blow but was struck in the chest. The impact hurled her against the wall, leaving her nearly unconscious. Sacred healing! Amelia cried, rushing to her friend's side. A soft, radiant glow emanated from her hands as she chanted the healing spell. Ruby winced but managed a sheepish grin. Ow! I'm lucky my aura protected me. Don't worry, I'm fine, Amelia. Hee hee. Amelia sighed in relief. Better safe than sorry. I'm glad you're okay. The door slid open, revealing a scientist with a xenomorph perched on his shoulder. He had long brown hair tied into a ponytail, streaked with grey, and wore a white lab coat and glasses. Lines of age creased his face, but his smirk radiated cold confidence. "Good. Good," he said, stepping into the room and surveying the chaos. "It seems our assets are performing as expected. Subdue the intruders, both of you. Watch out!" Kid Flash yelled, zipping across the room to pull Artemis away as Superboy delivered another devastating punch. Robin, unfazed by the commotion, drew his Zanpakuto with a sharp metallic sound. He stepped between his team and the clones, his stance firm. Robin, unfazed by the commotion, drew his Zanpakuto with a sharp metallic sound. He stepped between his team and the clones, his stance firm. The sound of Superboy's fist meeting the blade reverberated through the room, but the sword held strong, much to everyone's astonishment. "Don't think I'll let you harm my team," Robin said, his voice calm but commanding. The scientist's smirk faltered as he adjusted his glasses. "Impossible. A Kryptonian's strength should easily destroy any blade forged by ordinary means." Superboy reeled back, his expression a mix of shock and confusion. "You, strong? I didn't think humans could withstand our attacks." Wonder Girl hesitated, her fists lowering slightly as she glanced at Superboy. She shared his astonishment. "Way to go, dude!" Kid Flash cheered, darting behind Robin. "Yeah, Robin. Show them what you're made of," Ruby added, her energy returning as she pumped her fist in encouragement. Robin didn't lower his blade, his eyes locked on the clones. "You think this is all I've got," he said, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. "I've got more surprises for you. But the real challenge? Convincing her to help me deal with both of you." The scientist narrowed his eyes. "Her? What are you talking about?" Robin didn't answer, but his calm demeanor unsettled everyone in the room. To be continued. Chapter 97, Chapter 79. Believe yourself. Hydra Base. Where are we headed now? Oh, and by the way, what's your name? Are you a hero? Where do you come from? Spill the beans, buddy. Deadpool rambled as he adjusted the unconscious Red Skull slung over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. The mysterious man beside him, calm and composed, barely spared him a glance. "My name is Satria. I don't have a code name because I'm not a hero. As for where I'm from? That's none of your concern. Just keep moving. We're almost at our objective." Deadpool blinked under his mask. "Well, aren't you just a bundle of mystery? Love that for you." Their conversation was cut short when their path was blocked by a group of ninjas in black, led by a striking woman in a sleek black spandex suit. Her sharp gaze and commanding presence made it clear she wasn't here for pleasantries. "Halt," the woman barked, stepping forward. Deadpool tilted his head. "Elektra? Why are your ninja buddies here? Did I miss an invitation to a party? I suggest you back off before my pal here kicks your sexy ow." A kunai embedded itself squarely in Deadpool's forehead, cutting off his rant. He wobbled comically before yanking it out. "Peace off, lady." Elektra didn't even flinch. "This is a mission. Nothing more, nothing less. Hand over the man you're carrying, or I'll ensure your suffering is legendary." Satria sighed, not even sparing her a second glance. "Keep walking. I don't have time for distractions." One of Elektra's men growled, stepping forward. "Bastard! How dare you ignore?" Satria released a wave of Conqueror's haki. The sheer pressure created a massive shockwave, and every ninja, save Elektra, collapsed to the ground, unconscious. Deadpool's jaw dropped. "Whoa! Did you just look at them and make them pass out? You've got to teach me that trick." Elektra, still standing, gritted her teeth and grabbed Satria's leg as he walked past her. "Wait! He paused and looked down at her, slightly impressed. Still conscious? I used 5% of my power. Not bad. You're stronger than you look. Fury burned in Elektra's eyes. She hated the way he looked at her as if she were an ant beneath his boot. Don't you dare look down on me, she yelled, swinging her katana at his neck. Without flinching, Satria caught the blade with his bare hand. The sound of metal cracking filled the air as he broke the katana piece by piece, leaving only the hilt in her hand. How sad! It pains me to see someone who doesn't know their limits. I'll give you one last chance to back off, lady. I hate hurting beautiful women unless the situation calls for it. His tone was calm but laced with an undeniable authority. You arrogant! Elektra lunged at him with her martial arts techniques. Satria shook his head. I warned you. With a swift motion, he delivered a powerful whip-like slap to her backside, leaving a stinging red mark. Kai-a-a-a-a! Elektra cried out, her body stiffening as the sharp pain registered. Ow! 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 That hurt, you. She stopped mid-rant, her face flushed as an unfamiliar feeling crept into her thoughts. What? What is this feeling? Why does this pain feel different? And does he think I'm beautiful? Deadpool, watching from the sidelines, shook his head. Is it just me, or is she enjoying that? Crazy chick! Satria ignored them both. Let's move. As they approached a heavily fortified gate labeled Valhalla 01, Satria took out a small device and began bypassing the lock. Bring the skull freak over here, he instructed Deadpool. Deadpool handed over Red Skull, grumbling. You know, for a guy who looks like he walked out of a cologne ad, you've got zero bedside manner. Satria scanned Red Skull's eye into the device, then connected a series of cables. Access granted. Nice job, boss. You're the man. Deadpool cheered. So, what's behind door number 1? Something shiny, I bet. The door hissed open, revealing a glowing blue box sitting on a pedestal, pulsating with an otherworldly energy. Jackpot, Satria muttered, stepping closer. Deadpool peered over his shoulder. What's that thing? Some kind of cosmic Rubik's Cube. Satria smirked and held up his golden dragon engraved ring. Tell me, my system. What is this? A smooth, metallic voice echoed from the ring. Object identified, the Space Stone. A powerful artifact that grants the user ability to warp reality's physical limits through spatial manipulation. Satria's grin widened. Finally. The jackpot. He turned back to the ring. You've been pretty useful, system. As a reward, I'll give you a name. From now on, you're Johnny Sins. I refuse. Satria blinked. What? You ungrateful piece of junk. Don't you know Johnny Sins is a man of many talents? You should be honored to share his name. I decline. The name does not align with my operational dignity. Satria scowled. You dare insult my naming skills? Correct. You're suck at naming something, host. Now focus while we figure out how to use this thing. The scene shifted to a surreal landscape. Weapons, swords, axes, spears, and an arsenal of unmatched craftsmanship were scattered across an endless expanse. Each piece gleamed with peerless quality, radiating an aura of timeless strength. This was no ordinary battlefield. It was Peter Parker's hidden ace, a pocket dimension containing replicas of legendary weapons from countless myths and worlds. Where are we now? Laura murmured, her eyes scanning the surreal surroundings in awe. Is this your doing, Spider-Boy? Logan growled, crossing his arms skeptically. What the hell are you, bub? Peter stood at the center, silently surveying the battlefield. The air crackled with energy, his usually light-hearted demeanor replaced with a calm intensity. His allies looked at him, some in awe, others in disbelief. How? How does someone like him have this kind of power? Laura whispered, still processing the sheer scale of the dimension. Kurumi smirked knowingly. Did you teach him this? She asked Baopan Sith, who stood with a faint smile. Me? No, Baopan replied, crossing her arms. I only taught him how to maximize his potential and control his prana. But make no mistake, this is all master. Though. She trailed off, her expression turning wistful. He could be so much more if he stopped holding back. He's a fool, clinging to his ideals even when the world spits at him for it. She paused, her voice softening. But that's why he's different from us. And why I promised his mother-in-law I'd protect him, no matter what. Kazuma, Peter-san is amazing. He's grown so much stronger since I last saw him. Esteth, I agree. He's not the same naive fighter from before. He's sharper, more decisive. King of Knights, this is a reality marble. Strange, though his power feels oddly familiar. Bangsat, oh, I see what's happening. This is some foreshadowing of Peter's connection to a certain King of Knights from another timeline. Poor blonde airhead doesn't even know. King of Knights, excuse me? Care to explain? Bangsat, let's just say that in another world, there's history between you and the original owner of Peter's power. Winking face. Pervert sage, oh, this sounds juicy. I need to hear more. Details, please. Esteth, interesting. So the King of Knights had a love story in another world? I'd love to read about it. King of Knights, this is ridiculous. Even if there were such a history, it's irrelevant now. My loyalty belongs to Naruto. Bangsat, good answer. I hate love triangles, too. But if you're curious, here's a video for reference. Bangsat uploaded Carnival Phantasm video. King of Knights, you idiot. What blasphemy have you shown them? Kazuma-sama, another harem protagonist, hey? Typical. Emilia, but Emi-yakun seems like a good man. Pervert sage, ah, he's got a taste. Artoria-chan reminds me of Tsunade, the drunk salary wife type. Esteth, he's more like her loyal servant than her lover. Ha ha ha. King of Knights, delete that video now, Satria. Or I swear I'll. Bangsat, fine, fine. Relax, your majesty. Geez. What a waste of my upload tokens. Robin, can we get back on topic? What exactly is a reality marble? Bangsat, reality marble is a high-level ability that reshapes reality itself. It allows the user to overwrite the world with their own imagined domain. Basically, it's like trapping your enemies in your custom-made battlefield, perfectly suited to your strengths. Pervert sage, ah, so it's like a jutsu to send someone to a pocket dimension, hey? Interesting. Cookies maniac, whoa, that sounds so cool. Is it something we can learn? Robin, it's definitely a useful skill. Do you have something like that in your arsenal, Bangsat? Bangsat, maybe. It's similar to the domain expansion thing that Blondie has going on. Why don't you ask him to teach you? He's already got the experience. Esteth, at Bangsat, let's fight. I want to test my limits against you. Bangsat, pass. I'd rather take a nap than get into a pointless brawl with you. Esteth, ugh, you're no fun at all. Naruto. I can explain. Naruto chuckled as Artoria fumbled for words, her usually composed demeanor cracking under the weight of embarrassment. Relax, Artoria-chan. I'm not mad, Naruto said, ruffling her hair affectionately. Honestly, I'm just happy to see you enjoying yourself in that other world. Artoria flushed red, swatting his hand away. Don't call me that. And I wasn't enjoying anything. Oh. Naruto teased, his grin widening. You looked pretty happy in that video. And, where do you even put all that food? You eat like a lioness, yet you're still so slim. Idiot. Artoria hissed, her cheeks burning as she punched him lightly in the ribs. Ah! My ribs! Naruto groaned dramatically, clutching his side. It hurts. You deserve it, she muttered, though the faintest smile tugged at her lips. Naruto reached out, pulling her into his arms. You're still my adorable lioness, no matter what. Your happiness means more to me than anything else. Artoria's blush deepened, but she didn't pull away. You idiot, she muttered again, resting her head against his chest. After a moment, she glanced up at him. But why are you going to help them? They seem capable of handling this on their own. Naruto's expression turned serious. I just want to make sure nothing goes wrong. And don't forget Satria's involved. Artoria sighed. That overgrown child? He's dangerous because he's reckless. Naruto nodded. Exactly. He hides it well behind that playful attitude, but he knows how to survive. He's cunning and always looking for an angle. Never underestimate him. Artoria frowned but said nothing. Deep down, she knew Naruto was right. He's too dangerous to keep alive, Viper said, her tone serious as she assessed the battlefield. This isn't looking good, Dakin muttered, scanning the area. Any bright ideas for getting us out of here? Before anyone could respond, Hornet made the first move. With his mechanized enhancements boosting his speed and impact, he charged Peter, aiming a devastating punch. Trace on, Peter whispered, his words igniting blue energy that materialized into the twin swords, Kanchao and Byakuya. Sparks flew as the blades clashed with Hornet's fist, sending shockwaves through the battlefield and kicking up a cloud of dust. Hornet smirked. Fascinating brat. It's been a while since I felt this motivated to kill someone. With a flick of his wrist, he sent an electrical jolt coursing into Peter, aiming to paralyze him. Peter gritted his teeth, his body seizing momentarily. Ugh! That's not gonna stop me, pal. His swords vanished as he summoned a new weapon, his voice ringing out, a lance of divinity made from sacred bones. Come forth, Vajra. The manifestation of Indra's lightning struck Hornet like a thunderous hammer. The surge of electricity crackled through his body, overwhelming his mechanized systems and leaving him immobile. That's how you play with thunder. Enjoy the shock, buddy. Peter quipped, stepping back as Hornet collapsed, sparks flying from his body. Kraken growled, issuing a command to his student. Viper, assist Hornet. Take the kid down. Gladly, Viper said, moving swiftly toward Peter, only to find her path blocked by a tall man in a Victorian outfit. His piercing gaze froze her in place. Finally, we meet again, the man said, his voice cold. I've been hunting you for a while now. Viper's eyes narrowed, her body tensing. Normally, I'd be flattered to have a handsome gentleman pursue me. But do we know each other? I don't recall crossing paths with you. The man smiled. Aram, my apologies. Perhaps this form doesn't jog your memory. But does the name Nightmare ring a bell? With a swirl of shadows, the man transformed into a beautiful woman clad in an astral dress. Viper's eyes widened in recognition. No way. You're the Japanese girl from the arena. You're the Nightmare. Kurumi giggled, tilting her head innocently. Surprised? Don't worry, I'm not here to reminisce. I just want to have some fun, with you. Fun? What do you want from me? Viper asked, her voice trembling slightly. She'd heard the stories how this woman had single-handedly terrorized Madripoor, her cruelty earning her the title Nightmare. Meanwhile, Yukio's eyes lit up with admiration. She's the Nightmare? I've always wanted to meet him or her. She's amazing, and Japanese too. She casually dispatched a Hydra soldier trying to sneak up on her. Laura raised an eyebrow, staring at Kurumi's female form. Wait. How did she become a woman? And why is she so beautiful? Kurumi smirked, catching Viper's stare. Flirting with our precious puppy comes with consequences. After all, women in our family are possessive. Puppy? Who are you talking about? I wasn't flirting. I don't even know who that guy is. Viper snapped, though she was clearly on edge. Kurumi's expression darkened, her smile turning sinister. Breaking the rules means punishment, dear. Now, how should I deal with you? So many delightful options. Viper's eyes darted around, searching for an opening. Without warning, she hurled poison-tipped darts at Kurumi. Sorry, but it's my win. That poison melts cells on contact. Even Wolverine struggles with it. Your little games end here. Come to me, Zafkiel. A massive clock materialized behind Kurumi, its golden hands ticking ominously. Viper froze in shock as Kurumi aimed a revolver at her own head. Dull it, she whispered before pulling the trigger. The poison's effects vanished instantly, leaving Kurumi unharmed. How? That's impossible. Viper stammered. You erased my poison, in seconds. Kurumi chuckled, her eyes glowing with malice. Erase? Oh no, darling. I simply turned back time. Turned back time, you say? Viper does not believe humans are capable of doing that, but there is no other explanation to describe this anomaly. He is correct, you are a monster. Gasps rippled through the battlefield. Even Laura was taken aback. Turned back time? No way. Is her regeneration better than mine? Kurumi twirled her revolver, aiming it casually at Viper. Monster, you called me? I suppose I've been called worse. But don't worry, I'll give you a fitting punishment for such insolence. Black hounds erupted from Kurumi's shadow, snarling as they advanced toward Viper. Black hounds erupted from Kurumi's shadow, snarling as they advanced toward Viper. Shit! Spider-Woman yelled. Logan, stop her! We need Viper alive! Wolverine lunged forward. All right, freaky lady, calm down. No need to. Kurumi fired a bullet into Wolverine's chest, freezing him mid-motion. As time around him came to a halt, Kurumi strolled toward Viper, her sinister aura suffocating the battlefield. Viper trembled, desperately searching for an escape route. No. I can't die here. There's too much I still need to do. The sky above cracked like fragile glass, shattering into brilliant fragments as a new presence forced its way into the reality marble. From the rift, a red-clad figure was unceremoniously flung, landing headfirst into the dirt, followed by the infamous Red Skull. A final figure, a strikingly handsome man with white hair, descended gracefully, exuding an aura of undeniable authority. Boss, that was so uncalled for. My head's buried in dirt, it's dark, and it's scary. Someone help me, the red-clad man whined. Wait. Logan blurted out in disbelief. Wait, who's the guy with him? Is that Red Skull? And how did they manage to capture him? Spider-Woman asked, her tone tinged with both confusion and awe. Beoponsith's crimson eyes narrowed. Impossible. How did they forcefully break into a reality marble from the outside? Her thoughts raced as she tried to comprehend the anomaly. Big bro Satria. Peter whispered, recognition dawning. Darling. Kurumi added with a playful lilt, her usual composure replaced by a flicker of surprise. The white-haired man surveyed the battlefield with a smirk. Humph. So, this is the place. I couldn't miss the spectacle of my emo girl in action, now could I? But first things first, where's my seat? Hey, Spidey, whip me up something comfortable. Chop chop. Peter blinked, unsure whether to be flattered or terrified. Sure. He quickly conjured a luxurious sofa, complete with plush cushions, using his forger abilities. Satria lounged on the sofa, testing its comfort. Now this is splendid craftsmanship. Well done. The voice sent Kraken's blood boiling. His fists clenched as memories of a bitter defeat resurfaced. Viper, too, recognized him, though her reaction was far more subdued, a mix of anger and wariness. Kraken couldn't hold back. You humiliated me in the tournament. Today, I'll have my revenge. With a roar, Kraken charged at Satria, his rage blinding him. But with a casual flick of his wrist, Satria sent Kraken flying, his massive body skidding across the battlefield like a ragdoll. Ah! Kraken muttered, dazed. Satria yawned. How noisy! Enraged, Kraken staggered to his feet and lunged again, this time grabbing Satria's arm with all his strength. Don't underestimate me. My strength can lift over 4 tons. Now fight me seriously before I... Before he could finish, Satria effortlessly flipped him over and slammed him into the ground. Lively, aren't we? Satria said with a faint smile, his tone mocking. Kraken lay motionless, his confidence shattered. This can't be real. The gap between us is insurmountable. Who is this guy? The Hydra soldiers, witnessing their elite warrior tossed aside like a toy, dropped their weapons in surrender. Even the bravest among them recognized that they were utterly outmatched. Viper's thoughts raced as she recalled his words from the tournament. This is a checkmate. We cannot win this war. She gritted her teeth, frustration bubbling inside her. Dakin, however, was not so easily cowed. What are you fools doing? And you, who do you think you are? He stormed toward Satria, claws bared. But as Dakin was prepared to strike, Satria raised a single finger, pointing it at him. Dakin froze. His animal instincts screamed at him to retreat. Without understanding why, he dropped to his knees, paralyzed by an unseen force. Behind Satria, a faint image of a colossal light and dark figure loomed, radiating an energy beyond comprehension. My body, it won't move. This guy. Who is he? Why does everything inside me demand I submit to him? Satria's calm voice cut through the silence. Behave yourself. You stand in the presence of an emperor. I suggest you show respect, unless you wish to face the consequences. Dakin trembled, sweat dripping down his face. Hornet, watching from afar, sneered. Emperor? Such arrogance! Forget these weaklings, I'll deal with you myself. With the power granted to me by Lord of Hell, you'll regret your words. Hornet activated a demonic amulet, its dark energy causing the earth to tremble. A swirling portal materialized, and from its depths emerged a grotesque eldritch abomination, a mass of purple tentacles, a single eye stalk, and a maw lined with jagged teeth. The Red Skull, previously unconscious, bolted upright in panic. Stop, you fool! Lower your weapon! Do you have any idea what you've summoned? __. Special mission activated. Defeat the Eldritch Monster, Part-10. __. Kazuma-sama, OMG! It's the creature from one of those ahem hentai anime. Pervert Sage, what a spectacular inspiration! Should I dabble in writing that genre? Minna, thoughts? Amelia, pervert. King of Knights, go die, pervert. And this creature reminds me of the monster that Mad Caster summoned in the Holy Grail War. Cookies Maniac, ew. What is that thing? How does something this gross even exist? God of Hope, can you handle it? I'm sending a clone your way if you need backup. Bang sat, we're fine. Just evacuate the Hydra victim. Oh, and if you find a guy named William, save him. He owes me money. If you find that guy, tell him you are Bang Satria minion who comes to rescue him. God of hope, minion your ass. You're a moron. Bangsat, tisk, what an attitude. Your kids will be disappointed to know their dad's so toxic. Unlike me, I live by a positive mental attitude. It's probably because you've been hanging around those wild Americans. Robin, excuse me. What's that supposed to mean, you jerk? Kazuma-sama, if we're being honest, you're the shadiest guy here. ___. The abomination's shriek pierced the air, a sound so vile it caused unbearable pain to those with pure souls. Peter, Laura, Spider-Woman, Yukio, and even Kurumi collapsed to the ground, their breaths ragged as they writhed in agony. What's happening to all of you? Kurumi, are you okay? Satria rushed to his emo girlfriend, panic evident in his voice. Kurumi clutched her chest, her face pale. Every part of my body, it hurts. I don't understand what's happening. Peter groaned from nearby, his voice strained. Ugh! It's like my whole body is tearing itself apart. What is this pain? Beoponsith's crimson eyes flared with anger. Master! How dare you harm him? What have you done to my beloved? Answer me! Hornet smirked, his voice dripping with malice. It's simple. Dan's presence alone causes pure-hearted fools like them immense pain. Their pure souls can't handle his corrupting aura. Only those with darkness in their hearts, people like me, can stand unharmed. Now, I'll send you all to hell. Kill them, Dan. Satria's jaw dropped in disbelief. Wait a second. Are you saying I have an evil soul? How does that make any sense? I'm a hero of kindness. And yet Kurumi, with her terrifying emo vibes, is considered pure. What kind of twisted logic is this, ow? Kurumi slapped the back of his head, her face flushed despite her pain. You, idiot! We'll discuss this at home. For now, just defeat that thing. The eldritch abomination, seemingly ignoring Satria and his team for a moment, turned its attention toward the Hydra agents. Its single eye stalk gleamed with hunger. It was, after all, the eater of evil. Tentacles shot out, wrapping themselves around those with darkness in their souls. What are you doing? I'm your master. You're supposed to obey me, Arg. Hornet screamed as the abomination devoured him, his cries fading into sickening silence. No. Release me, you beast. Do you know who I am? I am the Red Skull, destined to lead this WORL Nuwu. The infamous villain's final words were drowned out by the wet crunch of tentacles. One by one, Hydra soldiers were plucked from the ground, their screams echoing as they were consumed. Help! Please! Viper and Dakin watched in frozen horror as their comrades were devoured. Viper, trembling, instinctively darted behind Satria. Dakin followed suit, his bravado shattered. You're both hiding behind me? Really? Satria deadpanned, glancing over his shoulder at the terrified pair. But Dan was not finished. The monster's eye stalk swiveled toward Satria's group, and its massive tentacles surged forward. Satria stepped forward, unfazed. What the hell is this? Am I in some weird Japanese schoolgirl horror anime? He reached into his dimensional storage, retrieving his legend driver. He strapped the gleaming device to his waist, its presence radiating power. A brilliant golden light erupted from it, momentarily blinding everyone present. Kemi ride. Satria raised his hand dramatically. Henshin. LL Legend. In an instant, Satria transformed. His armor glowed with resplendent gold, intricate designs etched across it. His arrival was like a deity descending to the battlefield. Your Golden Emperor has arrived. Satria declared, striking an outrageously fabulous pose that somehow exuded both confidence and absurdity. Dan's tentacles lashed toward him, but Satria casually drew his golden gun. With a single shot, he obliterated the appendages, the energy blast reducing them to nothing but ash. ___. Cookies Maniac, that golden armor and those guns are so cool. He looks like a walking treasure chest of awesomeness. Pervert sage, another trick up his sleeve, hey? That guy's as unpredictable as they come. Makes things interesting, though. Kazuma-sama, wait. Is this Kamen Rider? First, he turns into a blue powerhouse, and now he's a literal Kamen Rider. This is not fair. Where's my god-tier transformation? Death, Kamen Rider? What's that supposed to mean? Kazuma-sama, oh, let me educate you. Kamen Rider is a superhero in my world. They protect the earth with unique powers and always fight larger malevolent forces. Every rider has their own signature abilities, and some are even strong enough to affect the multiverse itself. Sure, it's technically a kids' show where I come from, but seeing the real deal in front of me is unreal. Robin, you're seriously trying to tell me there's a superhero capable of influencing the multiverse? That sounds like something out of a bad comic book. Kazuma-sama, hey, don't underestimate them. It's not a joke. Riders with that level of power really exist. You just have to believe me. King of Night, if that's true, then what can he do in this form? You know more about this Kamen Rider stuff than the rest of us, right? Kazuma-sama, well, yeah, but I've never seen this version of Kamen Rider before. Satria's transformation doesn't match anything from the shows I've watched. So, yeah, no clue what he's packing now. Pervert sage, that's even better. No spoilers mean more fun when we find out. Let him surprise us. __. So beautiful. Is your armor similar to what the man in iron uses in combat? Viper asked in awe, her eyes glimmering as she examined Satria's stunning battle armor. Nope, girl. Mine is leagues ahead of that billionaire playboy's tech, Satria replied with a confident smirk. He retrieved a sleek card from his belt and inserted it into a slot. Spidey's girlfriend, watch over them. I'll deal with this ridiculous hentai tentacle monster one-on-one. He gestured toward Baobhan, who nodded firmly. Kemi ride. GG gorgeous. Agito. Hentai monster. Someone get me out of here. Deadpool's muffled voice came from the ground, where he was partially buried. I want to see a beautiful girl get molested by dirty tentacles and then be heroically rescued to join the boss's harem. Who is this clown? Can I kill him? Baobhan asked, wrinkling her nose in disgust. Count me in, Kurumi growled, wincing from the pain caused by the eldritch abomination. We should end all deviants like Jiraiya. I don't usually support killing, Spider-Woman added, glaring at Deadpool. But for him? I'll make an exception. Satria, meanwhile, transformed into Kamen Rider Agito, his ground form adorned with intricate golden ornaments that made his already imposing figure even more majestic. Ready to get your ugly ass handed to you. Satria taunted the octopus monster, flipping it off with a middle finger. The octopus let out an enraged screech. Gray. It floated into the sky and fired a red laser beam from its maw. Kemi ride. Flame form. Satria shifted into his flame form, his armor gleaming crimson as flames danced around him. Wielding a blazing saber, he effortlessly split the beam in two. The monster retaliated with a barrage of massive tentacles, but each one disintegrated into ash upon contact with the fiery blade. The creature hesitated, visibly unnerved. You'd make some excellent takoyaki, Satria quipped, his saber crackling with flames. Now, what's it gonna be? Fight and lose, or surrender and join my nakama? Choose wisely, octopus. The monster trembled before letting out a pitiful series of noises. Maya! 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 Wait! I'm just an octopus that got lost in this world. Please don't kill me. Good choice. Now, undo the curse you put on them, Satria commanded. The creature complied, lifting the negative effects from everyone. Satria then purchased a beast ball from the dimensional chat shop and lobbed it at the octopus. I catch you, buddy. Maya. Maya. My name is Phytkin, not Bud. The octopus vanished into the special pokeball before it could finish protesting. Everyone watching stood in stunned silence, their mouths agape. Satria returned to his normal form, smiling confidently. Around them, Peter's reality marble faded, returning the group to the Hydra base. This is absolute power, Viper thought, awestruck. This man could rule the world. He's truly worthy of the title Emperor. What a terrifying man, Deacon mused. It's a miracle I'm still alive after facing him. What just happened? Spider-Woman asked, her voice filled with disbelief. You swoop in, end the fight in seconds, and look amazing doing it. Who are you, Mr. Emperor? And can I have your number? Her eyes sparkled with intrigue. Could this be my knight in shining armor? You call yourself an emperor in this age? Are you serious? Who are you? Yukio scoffed, though her cheeks flushed slightly. Still, thanks for the help. Thank you, Satria, Peter said sincerely, now being tended to by Baobhan. You've saved us again. I owe you one. Baobhan smiled softly. You're truly remarkable, Satria. Though, you're a bit eccentric. She glanced at Kurumi. Your betrothed is lucky to have you. What? She's taken. Laura's heart sank, her shoulders slumping. Another love story crushed. Kurumi felt a twinge of guilt as she noticed Laura's dejected expression, while Satria basked in the praise with a smug grin. Well, what did you expect, he said, puffing out his chest. I'm the great Satria. Stick with me, and you'll always be safe. Oh, my Viper purred, wrapping her arms around him from behind. How about you and I rule this world together, my emperor? Doesn't that sound wonderful? Back off, snake! Spider-Woman growled, shoving Viper aside and clinging to Satria's left arm. He doesn't need someone like you. Ha! Says the woman who's nothing but that man's booty call. Viper sneered, glancing at Logan, who lay immobilized by Kurumi's bullets. You! Spider-Woman and Viper glared daggers at each other. You're both dumb bitch! Laura shouted, but her protests fell on deaf ears as the women continued their squabble. Did you not hear this guy is taken? I always knew my charm was magical, but please, ladies, let go of me. Satria panicked, sensing a dark presence closing in. Before he could act, someone moved behind him silently, pulling him away from the two women and landing a sharp slap on the back of his head. Ow! Who dares hit the great Satria? He spun around, only to freeze in fear. Standing there was Kurumi, his girlfriend, smiling ominously. Eat! Kurumi, my love. What do you need from me? He stammered, sweating nervously. Why, you know, if you get too angry, it might lessen your loveliness. But, don't get me wrong, you're still beautiful even when you're mad. Hee. Is that so? Kurumi replied sweetly, though her tone was laced with menace. You know, I love brave guys. And to think you were brave enough to flirt with other girls in front of me? How bold! Do you want to die magically? She pinched his ear hard. Ow! Ow! Pun, my love. How is this my fault? They approached me. I tried to refuse them. Satria pleaded, desperate to avoid her wrath. Quiet, Kurumi snapped. Now we're going home, and I'll be telling the others about this. Tonight, you sleep outside. No objections. Are we clear? Wait, what? Have mercy on a poor guy like me, dear. Please don't tell the others, I beg. Before he could finish, Kurumi opened a blood portal with her shadow and tossed him into it. You two, follow me, she instructed Peter and Baobhan. We can't let them know about your involvement. They obediently stepped into her shadow. Before leaving, Kurumi cast a cold glare at Viper. Consider this your lucky day, Snake. With that, she disappeared, leaving the others speechless. Viper folded her arms, watching Kurumi vanish. Humph. I don't know if this counts as lucky or unlucky. Viper. She turned to see Captain America and SHIELD agents closing in. Hello, Cap, still as stoic as ever, I see. Your crimes end here. Secure them all. Captain America commanded, and SHIELD agents began arresting the Hydra associates. Nearby, Iron Man inspected the scene, scratching his head. Can someone explain what happened here? Why is Logan not moving? And what's with this guy? He gestured at Deadpool, whose body was buried in the ground head first. Logan's fine, Laura said dismissively. That woman, Kurumi, said he'll recover in an hour. And honestly? Can we just leave the weirdo here? Why are you guys so mean to me? Deadpool whined, his voice muffled from the dirt. Iron Man turned to Yukio. Okay. And who is this Kurumi? Yukio sighed, looking exhausted. She's the nightmare of Madripoor. It's a long story, and I don't have the energy to tell you right now. Fine, Iron Man relented. But right now, we need to find Red Skull and the Tesseract. Red Skull? Spider-Woman interjected. That guy's already dead. Don't waste your time chasing a ghost. Everyone turned to her in shock. Just then, a SHIELD agent ran up, delivering a report to Maria Hill, the new director. Director. We didn't find the Tesseract, but we discovered evidence that someone stole it. Maria's expression hardened. We need to find the culprit immediately and recover the Tesseract. It's too dangerous to be left in the wrong hands. She hurried off, barking orders to her team. Naruto, standing to the side, sighed heavily. That brat. It's gotta be him. He rubbed his temples, already feeling exhausted from dealing with Satria's antics. I need a drink. Maybe two. To be continued.